bless us.
Oh no, yeah. One more month and then we'll be back on to
Get banned again.
yeah, destroy people's copyrights, make money off of their properties. Okay, so I'm leading us back in here. What's up, everybody? This is me, Francisco, and Charles here.
Hi,
for
everybody.
Sports Goofs 79. Andrew's not joining us today because, well, he had a little fun with the Florida bar exam.
Yeah, and hopefully, Andrew, I don't know if you're listening as you're de-stressing, but we hope you did fine. Big shout out to everybody today who took the Florida bar.
Yeah.
Andrew's the only one I know taking it, but for people to understand, not to kind of go into a little bit of a soapbox, but it's always important to say about this: law school, med school, any kind of post-secondary school, aside from your bachelor's that follows up, is completely useless to actually furthering your career. It's exams like these, for certifications, for getting licenses, that really matter, and the amount of stress out there is the worst. Because imagine riding the high of, all right, I got my degree, we're done, and then realizing all those 4 or 5 years or whatever, if you're part-time student, might be longer, it means nothing.
It reminds me of that wrestling meme where the guy comes out, nah.
Yeah, Teddy Long. Hold on, player. Hold on.
That's not how this works.
And so for everybody who, and I'm going to sound kind of corny, because everybody likes to say the word courage when there's a great endeavor, right? He had the courage. She had the courage. For everybody who has the courage to not, give up so close near the end, because we knew guys and gals who quit, days before to postpone, to do everything. So y'all the real MVPs, because you're going in there sick, fed up. Andrew, you're the real MVP. We're just starting this. Because this guy, he didn't postpone this. I guess this is my starting segment. He didn't postpone this because he was scared or he had comments. We have been building him up, I would say, for a year. And the CV tried him. The Florida Bar Board of Examiners tried him.
Yeah.
The universe tried him. So him and everybody else who decided to do this, they Alex Smithed it, right? They Alex Smithed it. You got beat up a little bit because the bar exam is never easy, so you might feel like you had 7 sacks. But you Alex Smith it, man. You didn't say amputate. You say, this is my good leg. I'm going to get it strong.
Oh, that's a good question, Freddie. When's the last time we broadcasted during an NFL game? I mean,
never? We did the draft.
I think we did the draft. We've done the draft. And I think we might have had a Thursday show, but I don't think it was during the season.
Yeah,
for the
we're
NFL.
popping cherries tonight.
Yeah, so hey, and it's your beloved Tennessee Titans. So
yeah,
if you guys beat the Bills, that helps the Dolphins surprisingly this season. Hey, it's 2020. Who knows? And
with the new CBA, you can make it in on 8-8, 9-7. You just have to beat the right team to get in with this new playoff format.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's see what's going down in Texas. I got the Braves and the Dodgers on. There's 2 outs. Dodgers have bases loaded at the moment. So hopefully, battle of the choke artists. We'll see which one chokes more. The Dodgers did it last night. And Andrew, you're a real MVP today. Everybody who took the bar exam and didn't die, but feels like dying afterwards. Don't worry. There was what was it? Hold on. Let me see if I can search for it. Did you hear about that woman that gave birth?
Yeah, that was posted up in there. I will say this: the bar exam is not more important than healthy medical attention.
Yeah.
So I implore everybody: if you get the pregnancy and the labor during the exam, go do that. And if you get anal bleeding, gentlemen, just go, because remember, what I will say this about the Florida bar, which you people have to realize, is that all you have to do is just pass it once, sure, but living is more important than dying for the Florida bar. I really wish that we would have said that 4 years ago, but we're neither here nor there.
I can't tell which one's more painful, the birth or the exam.
Well, for you, it was the birth. Or not for me, it was the birth. For you, it was the exam, if I remember what you were tested on.
Tell me we're doing that tonight, Freddie. Don't worry. We're doing that tonight. Who did I have planned for this week? I got the New York Jets today. Because they're always fun to make fun of.
That's real too easy.
I know, but it's fun. It's always fun. Hey, Genshin Impact, you're sponsoring us today.
Did you
PS4.
play that?
It's on PS4 and PC, so I haven't
Which
played it
one was
on
the
PC.
free?
I
Which
played
one was
Rogue
the free
Company
one?
last night on my channel.
That's the one.
Yeah, I played that. I actually had a lot of fun with it. I suck at it, but I had fun with it.
It's a freemium game, right?
It's yeah. I think it was briefly like you had to pay to play it, and now it's free to play. So I think it's like on the Epic Game Store, so that they immediately made it free to play, and now it's on Xbox and PS4 and Switch. So I'm like, let's give it a shot. I had some fun. Played against some
We
bots.
picked Josh Allen. That's how it starts.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
We have a vested interest in this game too, because to go 4-0 would be important because
Look at that. It just
it would
tipped
separate the
off
pack.
of his yeah, that's unfortunate there, but hey, fortunate for you guys right there.
See, Freddie, I haven't played Among Us because I don't. I just have an 8-year-old laptop, and PC games. I feel like it's got to be all or nothing. But I've heard good things. It's mostly because of the memes.
Yeah. Well, since we're here on the real MVP, I do want to give a shout out to Alex Smith and the, I guess, army of doctors and nurses and medical staff that basically made him, was it the Bicentennial Man or whatever, just $1 million man, just they can rebuild him. Yeah,
Maybe
and
his family too, because not a lot of people would support that. You know,
I mean, he made his money already, and we can say that, but still, like, you know, hey, he's got, you know, I think like 2 young kids and his wife there. I mean, he already made their money for a lifetime, you know, in a couple of generations. But
if it was Phillip Rivers, they would have to keep playing because he has like 10 kids now.
That's true. And look at that. It's unfortunate that suddenly Alex Smith comes back from that, and then Dak Prescott goes down with his injury. So it's like, the football gods, they know no mercy.
NFC East too. Oh, touchdown! Is that AJ Brown?
The NFC East, the dumpster fire division of the NFL.
We'll talk about NFL to talk about NFL because I don't want to bleed too much into it for our collective ADD, ADHD. But Alex Smith, man, like we harp on it a lot because I feel it's been a 2-year endeavor. He was still young too, because to be an NFL quarterback, your longevity is now prolonged to 38, 39.
Yeah.
And he ends up coming back to a team that was presumed to just throw him out of the world because they had Dwayne Haskins. But, you know, petty politics, we'll expand more on that. I want to get Freddie's intake on that, too, because that's always important to me about giving up on young quarterbacks when they really didn't get a chance.
I mean, he said he got sacked 6 times. I mean, he hung in there. He hung in there, and he survived.
And you know what? He probably loved it. It was that real kind of, that test, that will, that might. It's like Charles, when Charles pulled his shoulder, you know, a couple of years back at the gym, and then felt accomplished trying to bench press like 80 pounds to get back into it. You get a certain kind of excitement. Now, mind you, it's not life-threatening the way it was, but you know what, guys? Got to take care of my vanity too, Alex Smith. But I wonder, the one thing I do wonder is how much is enough? You know, I'm not saying like another major injury would happen to him to make him stop, but what if he gets a unrelated injury? Because he had a history of injuries, aside from getting your leg basically ripped apart. He had concussions. That's how it led to the Colin Kaepernick era. A couple popped collarbones. When is enough? That's another question, but we're still proud of you.
You know, some guys, they that's all they know, man. It's all they've been playing football since they were kids. That's all they know. That's all they understand. It's all they can see for themselves. So some guys, it takes a while for them to walk away, and sometimes it takes horrible things for them to walk away. And you know, something
Lawrence
horrible happened to
Taylor
him, he could have just easily walked away, just like, okay, give me all the surgeries, let me at least be able to walk and play with my kids. But no, he did more than that. He came back to play professional football, be it on a Washington team that's terrible, but still. Because I wouldn't come back to that myself. If I were.
I mean, you got to think about it. Lawrence Taylor has like 20 concussions. Peyton Manning went under the knife 4 times reportedly.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, heck, Troy Aikman retired because of his concussion history.
I mean, Steve Young just died on the field.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no between. But with Alex Smith, you want to see him succeed. And it's so rare because I think in the NFL it's so easy to hate on quarterbacks, no matter who they are. You always end up hating them. There is no feel-good story. Even Dak Prescott was really just vilified, coming into it. We're definitely going to expand on that because I don't want to bleed over. But Alex Smith's like that one QB that you're like, love him.
Yeah.
Right? Because immediately, just because he's been underrated after his first.
You're giving that man a hug. That's for sure.
Yeah, we do not score him. I feel like we should shift from the Jets to the Redskins now, but for that segment. But who knows? But yeah, so Alex Smith, real MVP, and then to switch into another one briefly, Mark Cuban. Good on you for giving back to help out Delonte West. I know we reportedly talked about, but he actually did pick him up and drop him off at a rehab center. I think that matters. We talked about Delonte West a couple weeks ago on the show. He was one of the first players that kind of come out with his openness of bipolar depression or schizophrenia, one of the two. So please forgive me for not quoting exactly. We are not prepared people. That's why Goofs is in our name. But to see an owner kind of give back to a player who wasn't even on that team that long, I think it was a season and a half.
Yeah, it was just like it was like the last team that he was with before he, I guess, couldn't make it in the league. He was on their D League team. I think the Texas Stars. That's what their D League team. Hey, or the G League, whatever you want to call it. Better know a minor league team. There you go. See, I'm getting good at it, man. I know the G League teams. Yeah. So yeah, but he is on a ranch in Texas.
But I don't think what people realize why it matters is because for your collective PAs, a lot of them only focus on the current players. And I would even venture the rookies, right? Because that's where you protect those players and their investments. That's how you get a lot of the issues of the guaranteed contracts. So they have that scale prevention and everything. And then once you're out, you're out. It took NFL players to have to sue for the concussions, right?
Yep.
To get into that. And then NBA, I don't even know what your protections. You know what they tell you financially or any kind of support stability? They tell you go play overseas in China. Stephon Marbury can tell you that. And Stephon had some issues back in the day. So I think that kind of matters, and maybe that's something they want to rely on, because maybe the idea is they'll shift their beliefs once LeBron retires, once a lot of the older guard retires who are more player-focused than ever before. Because even though the recent wave of players who did retire, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, I'm just going off some Heat guys because can't really
the guys that came up
Tim
in
Duncan,
the early 2000s.
Yeah, Tim Duncan, stuff like that. They're in a weird transition because it's not too far out, and they were never really part of those big CBAs. The guys that we just named on didn't have as much of an active role, but when Chris Paul...
kidding me? Freddie Freeman just hit a 2-run home run.
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, my God.
It was a very hard week for us sports-wise, but we're going to converse about it. But it's not Clayton Kershaw who is starting because he had to get scratched for his back. But, maybe once the big active leaders who voice a lot of their concerns come into play, then you'll see about post-health. Because isn't that what you want? I mean, you're buying into a pension plan anyway amongst a lot of the leagues and the contracts when you sign as rookies or any kind of organization. So you want that health and support. Unfortunately, they don't have the best financial advisors. Talk to Warren Sapp, but that's the NFL.
And like 40,000 Jordans they had to sell.
And it was just like going to GameStop. I'll give you 40 cents for them. But yeah, so those are my two contributions, or three, because we talked about it. Andrew, Alex Smith, and Mark Cuban.
There we go. All right then. So those are our real MVPs, and I guess because Freddie really wants it. And you know what? We were on the NFL, and we like talking about terrible teams. Let's go hug, bump, scorn. Let's do it, Charles.
Let's do it.
I'll fire up ESPN NFL right now.
All right, give me 1 second. I have to get something at the door. I'll be right back.
All right, then. All right, everybody. So, if you don't know, this is where we take a look at the rosters of any team, really. It doesn't have to just be the NFL. But lately, we've been doing the NFL because we're in the middle of the NFL. NHL's over. NBA is now over. Major League Baseball is in their playoffs at the moment, but NFL players or football players in general, you don't really see a lot of their faces, or a lot of people don't recognize their faces because they're always behind the helmet.
It's kind of like the Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm. So this is purely based on some of it. Well, really, it's it's all arbitrary, really. There's no real scale. There's no real criteria for who gets a hug and who gets a fist bump and who receives or scorn, who we don't even want to touch with a 6-foot pole. So
And scorn could be because they scare us, or maybe they're just not, delicate on the face. There's some things that come into play. I'm a biased man.
Mm-hmm. So here we're looking at the great old New York Jets, just a fantastic NFL franchise. Really, with the best of the best. They are quite. I mean, they're not even the New York Knicks of the NFL. I don't even know what to describe them as. They're just freaking the Jets.
Well, the New York Knicks of the NFL has to be Cleveland, dude.
Maybe.
It has to be.
Right.
I mean,
I'd sooner trust the Winnipeg Jets to play football for me before the New York Jets. That's for sure.
yeah, valid. I mean, here's in Cleveland's turning it around, so maybe I shouldn't poo-poo on them. But you sometimes look into ownership who interferes.
Yeah.
But the New York Jets, they make everybody green with envy, I suppose.
Hey, look at that. Look what you did there. Okay. Did you mean to do that? Green with envy?
I'm 5 steps ahead, 4 steps behind.
All right. So let's go with Bless Austin. His name is Bless. All right,
Ooh.
Charles. He's a cornerback. Rutgers, drafted last year, 6th round. All right.
I feel like he needs a hug. I feel like he needs a hug.
I mean,
because,
his name is Bless.
yeah.
That's the type of guy who will give you a hug. All right.
And his nose is kind
sure
of big, so I feel like he needs a hug.
I'm sure maybe his parents or his father's like a pastor or something. I don't know. It seems like that's his upbringing. It seems like it just by his name. All right. We're not going to delve deep into this. We're just going straight off of what we see and what ESPN gives us here on the top of their pages here. All right. This is all we know about the man.
So if he does something right, does someone say "God bless"?
Is there a bio?
It confuses people.
He's from Queens. All right.
All right.
He went to Rutgers. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. There's not much else. Nothing about his life's history. That's fine. All right, let's. Okay, Ooh. Marquis Christian. Looks like the Predator to me.
You know what? I would bump it just so he could back me up in a fight.
I just a preemptive bump is like, I got you. You got my back. All right, here. Just get on his good side immediately.
He's kind of, I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of intimidating. Like if you walked into the men's stall and he says you need to step out, I would take that.
Does he have a T-Mac tattoo on his throat?
I kind of need you to like find a way to superimpose that a little bit. All right, so Bless's full name is Blesson. Bless Sound. But let's go on this man, Marquis Christian here. It's the hair. It's the hair. It's not even the dreads. It's the color of the hair. I'm like, all right, I know not to F with you.
So he's got a T. I don't know if this is maybe. I don't know if because T-Mac, or maybe he's really loves Tracy McGrady.
Oh, well, I'm taking a peek on Google here.
I'm not
just to get more info.
I'm not getting a T-Mac tattoo on my throat. That's for sure.
Listen, anybody who gets
Tracy McGrady.
Anybody who gets a tattoo of any kind on their neck is either a tough person or a stripper. So I'm going to agree. Usually it's the star tattoo or porn star. But I'm going to fist bump him for protection. We're not stupid up in here.
All right, then. Yeah, the preemptive fist bump. I get you. Oh, holy crap. ESPN has just gone, whoa. Dear Lord, just gave me a bit of a seizure there.
Glitching.
Yeah. The heck. All right, we're back. We're back on the New York Jets here. All right, Charles. What about our great guy here, Le'Veon Bell? All right.
I like Le'Veon, man. I mean, he's past his prime, but he's a happy guy. He looks like the guy who kicks down and goes, I got chilies, and you're all happy.
Is he the type of guy that watches Star Trek?
Oh, he's totally the guy who watches Star Trek.
Really?
I think he's also the guy that watches not Golden Girls, but Designing Women. Yeah. Watch Designing Women. And also watch Star Trek Discovery because they're supporting us for a second week in a row. Maybe Mac are his initials. Probably. We're stupid. We are. I think it's all sports related. All right, so I got to ask you this, guys. How pretentious do you have to be to get anything remotely in your name or initials on your body as a tattoo? What does that say about you? Unless you're going to get Alzheimer's and forget your name, so it's a nice reminder, but I don't see the point of it.
Yeah, that's...
And here's the thing about Le'Veon. When he gets traded this season, I hope him best success wherever he goes.
Everybody's had for people who don't have tattoos, I'm sure everybody's had the conversation of, if you were to get a tattoo, what would you get? Where would you get it? I've seen, video game tattoos, and I've hated all of them.
Yeah.
There are some impressive ones out there. Don't get me
You're
wrong.
You're tattoo free, right? Your body is an innocent white canvas waiting to be Vincent Van Gogh at the right time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the video game ones are definitely the whitest of canvases. That's for sure, because the people who get those don't get out very much. But
true.
Yeah, I cannot get behind getting a video game tattoo.
I will say this.
Marlins tattoo, maybe,
I would say this.
But it would have to be just a fish.
Marquis Christian's neck tattoo is better than Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo, so that's all I have to say. And I couldn't, just saying that. And I can never do a sports tattoo. A video game tattoo, I don't think I love any kind of video game. And for us in our age group, it has to be the video game that's carried out throughout the 3 generations, because we're both in our 30s. So it has to be a Nintendo-based reference, right? Like, I'm wearing my Sonic the Hedgehog socks today that I did for court, but getting a tattoo of a ring, I don't know. Maybe that's okay. Or you know what? I'll one-up it. If I got married, I would just get my ring finger to be a Sonic the Hedgehog golden ring. That's cool, right? If anybody wants to do that. But that's about as much of an investment I would go into. What else could there be? I mean, if you were a Legend of Zelda fan, you can get the Master Sword or the Triforce. You get the
Triforce, I guess, because I guess you would get something. I mean, it depends on how deep of a fan you are and how easily embarrassed or unembarrassed, whatever that you feel
I think
like,
if you make that commitment, you don't have that tattoo. It's not like having your ex's name and then you have to scrawl it out. I think you consciously know that decision. Yeah. But I just wonder what gaming franchise, because I can tell you it would not be anything in the PS3 or the PS4 generation for me. It would have to be in that Sega or Nintendo.
It has to be something iconic. You would have to get something iconic because it has to be something that will last. You're not getting, I don't know, an Alone in the Dark tattoo. I'm just naming a game from that generation that I can remember. You're not getting anything like that.
Okay, so
you need honestly, an iconic character of some sort.
Slippy from Star Fox do a barrel roll. It just has to happen. Like, you talk about worst tattoo with the greatest meaning, it would be that.
Yeah. That's like getting a Donatello tattoo.
Do you want to watch yourself? Because Turtles in Time is foundational, and all 4 turtles are fine, but Raphael's my favies.
I know, but of all the ones, you're not getting a Donatello one unless you really, really identify with them.
I'll amp it up. It's like getting a Casey Jones tattoo. Because, Donnie had his purposes. He had his, damn it, there's a touchdown. But the long staff helps out a lot. It's there. The bow staff that he has. I was watching the TMNT for the Nickelodeon show because I watch some stuff when I work out, and it's surprisingly great. I only watched like a season and a half, and now I'm on like halfway through season 2. But tattoo-wise, I couldn't get anything this generation, because everything's so controversial, and then you play and you're like, what was I thinking? That's like saying, hey, siphon filter. And I'm like,
Star Wars Battlefield. You're getting an Anthem tattoo. That's all right. So Frank Gore, you're giving him the fist bump out of respect.
Destiny.
You're getting.
Oh, I would kiss that man on the lip.
No, I don't think he would let you.
Our lips connecting, just for the you representation.
Okay, I mean, well, I
don't. It's just like the coal job situation. I don't like it either, but someone's got to do it.
Okay, yeah.
It's the work ethic. No, I mean, and honestly, he gets a hug. If he allows me to hug him, I would hug him, because he's still going now, man. At 307 years old, he can't really run, but don't try to tell him that. And for some reason, he keeps getting jobs, even though he's in New York, because he follows his boy Adam Gase.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even know.
I mean, what would you do? Would you fist bump him? Would you stay out of his way? He's also one of the most intimidating looking men out there.
Exactly. No, I fist bump the man out of respect, and then I walk away after he tells me to walk away. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, did you ever see the movie? You ever see the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence? And that guy comes into jail, goes, "You mind if I have a piece of your cornbread?" You say, "Yeah, take it. I don't fucking care." You know, he's a scary man. I'm sure he will gore you. Probably a teddy bear, but he won't. I don't think I've ever seen Frank Gore smile. You know when Frank Gore's gonna smile? When he finally does what he needs to do to accomplish in the football world and just disappear.
Yeah. All right, then. Let's go to the next one. Jimmy Murray.
Jimmy Murray.
I'm trying to think.
It hasn't loaded up for me on your end.
Okay. It should be soon. There he is. I don't know. I don't think I can give that man a hug. So serious. I feel like he would bury me under his floorboards or something.
Jimmy, all right. He just came on. Is he a ginger? He looks like Chucky the doll became human and gained 300 pounds.
I don't think he's. I don't think he. I don't know. It's kind of. I mean, when you grow out your beard long enough, it changes color. So I don't know if that's the effect that's happening there, or he's got kind of like a two-tone thing where the hair is a different color than the beard.
Oh no, he's a ginger.
Okay.
I'm looking on the regular Google.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold to it. He reminds me of Chucky the Good Boy doll that became a human, and it's basically reverse Pinocchio. It also got some killer eyes on you.
All right. How about our main man here? How about Adam Gase?
Oh my God. Okay, so here's my thing about Adam Gase, and I never drew the comparison until the other day when I realized he's still employed, but Bill O'Brien and Dan Quinn wasn't. You remember the movie Monsters, Inc.?
Yes.
You know Randall? Played by Steve Buscemi? The chameleon or whatever it was?
The bad guy, yeah.
The lizard-looking guy?
Yeah.
I present to you the human form of Randall.
It's Freddy's Scorn, but not fire, apparently, yeah.
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 But, I mean, just look at it. And you know what? Go Google Randall. Do it. For our sake. This is our show. Andrew's not here, so you know we're going to be a little bit worse, and there's no level. But if you just think about it, you think that demeanor, we just add a tail, and then it just kind of... He slithers around anyway. He's able to slither around the NFL. Here's the thing. When they do fire him this year, he's going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I love his remark where he's like, I thought about giving up my play calls, because I kind of respect it. You know, I kind of respect it when he's just like... He's basically just chilling for the most part. He's not doing anything else. He understands that he's untouchable because you know what? His agent probably got him guaranteed money and a coach contract, which is rare. But this is what, his second year? So it's like, I'm telling you, look at it. Look at it.
So I was
it's just right
Patrick
there.
From SpongeBob.
Looks like he can eat it again.
On the ugly episode is, look at it. Oh, boy.
No, everybody, yeah, now I'm thinking about who
I don't want to
Patrick
scroll down too far on these pages because I feel like I'll
remember when Charlie Weiss was still around? Rule 34, yeah. They call him Sully for a reason.
Hold on, Charles. I'm detecting, for some reason,
you gotta think about the most Pixar-looking character of a coach has to be
me
Andy
talking
Reid, right?
and you talking. Do you notice that? That I'm talking over you sometimes?
Okay.
So, I don't know what prompted it.
I thought it's just because I'm rude.
No. Let me hang up. I'll call you back, and we'll see if we can get this thing back in sync. This is the first time this has happened. So, hey, something new for once with our technical difficulties. Give me a second.
All right.
All right, folks. Don't worry. We'll get Charles back on the horn. Let's see if this'll fix the situation.
He kind of looks like Bing Bing from Inside Out anyway, I would imagine. That's my statement. I think Francisco's back now. He just joined the chat.
What's up?
Hello.
Are you synced with me?
I hope so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you responded immediately right there. Perfect. I don't even know what happened there. Not even sure.
Well, it's not Sports Goofs without a little bit of goofing around, right?
Yeah. All right, so I think we're done with the New York. I don't even want to talk about the New York Jets that much anymore. We're done with them. Adam Gase is the cap.
What would you hug, scorn, or bump Sam Darnold? We don't have to look at his mug, but I feel for him.
I think that man needs a hug just for
He so needs a
sympathy's
hug.
sake, you know?
He had mono. Who the hell gets mono? It's like getting yellow.
I mean,
fever.
we're all wearing masks anyways, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, this man needs a hug more than anybody, and not just a hug that'll take him down and he gets a sack. No, then a different type of hug.
Man, there was a tweet that I, which one was it? I think I sent to you guys. Somebody else that made the idea of that guy was turning the ball. Oh, no, that was Daniel Jones. That's a comment that's not PG-13 appropriate.
Oh, okay.
But I really, but Sam Darnold also a turnover machine too. I'm just trying not to get us fined. But look at him, he's so lovable. And then he's so lovable that everybody in the defensive line wants to hug him. And that offensive line, including Mekhi Becton, do not give a crap.
Yep. All right. So let's get back to the main screen here. We'll go. I mean, we're gonna stick with the NFL right now. All right. So,
Okay.
Week 5 well, I guess it's still technically happening because your team is still playing right now. They're tied 7-7 with Buffalo at the moment.
You're all welcome.
Mm-hmm. So, Atlanta, the failing continues. They are 0-5, and they finally decided to fire both their head coach and their general manager. A long time coming, Charles.
Not soon enough, right?
Nope.
And it's a statement because the week prior it was Bill O'Brien, and we know it was because he pissed off J.J. Watt, not Deshaun Watson. But I really think it was both. But the idea is if we're going to fire people mid-season, it makes no sense to bring in anybody anyway because a lot of these coaches are not going to get a fair shot to get a chance to develop. They're his body, so why don't you just stick it through? For Bill O'Brien, it's because he pissed off the wrong people. For Dan Quinn, it was just Arthur Blank looked at him and said, I just can't deal with you anymore. We are in a loveless marriage. You have hurt our children. You've abused them. Julio Jones is basically dead because of you. Matt Ryan is basically dead because of you. You're not utilizing Todd Gurley the way that Charles needs you to in both his fantasy leagues. Calvin Ridley is the only one who's branched out, and he's going to become better than all this. But you, and then you, Thomas Dimitroff, I'm sick of you. And he lets them go. For Bill O'Brien, it was too much of a consolidation of power, and he got Caesared pretty damn quickly, I would say. Would it be Caesar? I wonder. I'll go through my my history lessons in the different time period, but I would say it's a little bit of both. Yeah, power corrupts, absolute power. All right, sure. But for Dan Quinn, it was just I was calling this last year. I think everybody else was because ever since the Super Bowl, it was a big decline.
Yeah.
And I would say blowing the Super Bowl is terrible, but not the basis to fire that year or the following year.
No, I mean that was just like, hey, an epic collapse, but they still pretty much had most of their pieces the following season, and then it's just been a spiral ever since, and now they finally hit rock bottom. They lost to Carolina, who I thought was a rebuilding team, but they're starting off 3-2. Here's a stat here. They're 3-0 without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So that's a thing, you know. Teddy Bridgewater, look at that, 20+ fantasy points. How's your fantasy team doing? ATL gives them some points, so there you go.
Well, I have 2 people on ATL. So, side note, Big Papa Pump got changed into Trash to Trujillo, and I've been on a 3-game winning streak.
Nice.
Since. I have Todd Gurley in both the leagues. I said this is the year. I said LA did him wrong, And I'm kind of correct. He helped me win last week by .26, and this week he had me 22. And I have Matt Ryan on the bench as a backup quarterback, but I think they'll right the wrongs because Raheem Morris got elevated. Dirk Cutter is going to be even more simplistic. Just feed my man the ball. We're doing good. 3-2. I'll take it. I'm beastly. I have Christian McCaffrey and he got injured, so I picked up Mike Davis. So it benefits me. The problem is that when McCaffrey comes back, I don't want to drop Mike Davis because I think they should utilize a two-back system. So that's the predicament that we feel. But for Atlanta, it just got to happen. And here's the thing. I don't know what you want to do with that team after. And that's the scary part because do you get rid of Julio? Do you get rid of Matt Ryan? And we know that Julio Jones can still be there, but I say he's in the twilight. Another 3 years and he's out. And then with Matt Ryan, he's going to be a great journeyman quarterback soon.
I think you. I mean, if you're Atlanta, I mean, it really depends on what they want to do. Do they want to hit the reset button and start over? I mean, they might have to at this point. I mean, you're 0-5. You've fired your coach and your GM. You might as well hit the reset button. And hey, with some respect to those two guys, go find your Super Bowl. Hopefully someplace else because you're not getting it here in Atlanta.
But hear this out, man. The one time I researched something, because it just happened up, they are like over $30+ million in the cap for the next couple of years because of the contracts they have in Ryan, Julio, Grady Jarrett, Keanu Neal. And Calvin really is going to get paid. They let go of Austin Hooper, but a lot of tight ends can be a dime a dozen. Are we going to return that for a touchdown? No, we're not. You picked up Hayden Hurst in a trade. He might have to get signed up. You have Alex Mack who might go. So you have to do a fire sale. And here's the sad part for them. And this is why I might advocate for keeping the status quo. All the things that you could do to create the fire sale, you won't get enough cap release. You'll still have to pay the guaranteed money. And you're probably not going to get any big investments on the picks that come in. Because Julio could probably get you maybe a third rounder, the highest, because no one can give you higher than that because of the injuries. He's 31, going to be 32. For Matt Ryan at 35, no one's going to give you anything higher, I would say, than a fourth rounder for him. And I don't see him redoing his contract because at this stage of the game, no one's going to pay you that high amount. And he's going to be great, I think, systematically. But you can place him in certain places, but the whole purpose is getting younger. That's the downside of these quarterbacks wanting to play when they're old, is that some of the young guys can do the same thing. So now what? So it's very interesting compared to the NFC South, who they're building, because you have Teddy bringing in Teddy Two Gloves. Tom is going to forcibly be there for 2 years because he can get the money, so they don't have to worry about that till later. Drew Brees does not look good. I'm going to switch that to like last night's game because I feel like I want to keep it into the NFC South because everybody wants to love it. And it's like in between. But I watched the entire Chargers game with them.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert got robbed because Michael Bagley just couldn't make the kick. And 50 yards is not easy. So I hate pundits who are like, he missed the kick. 50 yards is not 15. We need to understand and respect that and recognize that. But two, Gus Bradley, you as a defensive coordinator is kind of trash, bro, because in that overtime backing, you knew Brees was going to be surgical if you gave cushion. And you let him do the whole way. I'd rather just blitz and give up on the deep and just accept it compared to just let him undercut, and lead to a field goal or this time the Taysom Hill touchdown run. So big problems in the NOLA because even though you won, you don't convince me. Drew Brees' arm is not there. He's too reliant on wideouts. And yes, everybody is, but this was a guy for a decade plus that would just check his reads and then toss it, and he feels pressured. There's some injuries. Defense looks fine, except for some blown-up plays, but that's how it be sometimes, right? And then just to go on Tampa, you lost to Chicago. It feels like such a long ways away because it was Thursday.
Yeah.
But Brady getting confused about the fourth down is just a little bit. The system's not in check, but they're going to bounce
tweet
back.
Regarding LeBron, whatever.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it because Tom can make fun of himself, but with Tampa, they lost Vit Vea. So it surprised me, but I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Carolina might be the team that comes out. And maybe it's because the Panthers have played easy teams because the Falcons are not intimidating, let's be honest. So that can lead to some of the stuff, but sometimes you just got to win them early. And they got nothing going on with DJ Moore, really. He's boomer bust, and Matt Rule looks like the kind of pressure point kind of coach where just run the ball, let Teddy not turn the ball over, that's fine. But Robbie Anderson's your deep ball guy. Your O-line's holding up. Your defensive line with Kawan Short and then Eter Gross-Matos and a few other ones can do some good stuff. It'd be very interesting because it seems like, Francisco, that we have a lot of first-year coaches who are amazing or
let's see.
Amazing.
The Carolina Panthers, their next game is against the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
So, it seems like, they should be able to beat the Bears, but apparently nobody, not nobody, they've lost one game, but the Bears seem to find a way to win.
They're the most unbelievably believable 4-1 team.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not good, but they're advantageous.
They're taking on the Saints the following week after that, which I guess is still winnable just by, the Saints' performance so far this season. There's Atlanta again. That should be another victory. If they can copy and paste this type of, unless I don't know who's replacing Dan Quinn for Atlanta. I don't even know.
They're gonna elevate Raheem Morris, former Buccaneers coach.
Okay. Then Kansas City. Kansas City just lost, but that should be a loss. Then they'll face Brady. The Detroit Lions, that should be a win. The Vikings, they could win that too.
Boy.
Yeah, the Broncos, they could. Wow, the Panthers. Wow, I'm looking at this. The Panthers could pull this out.
If you build consistency, and this is what I'll tell you: if you work to your strengths and you just try to protect your weaknesses, that's winning football. I'm like John Madden over here, right? But Freddie, Mike Davis is a former Bear. Same thing with Teddy playing against the Saints. If you know how to read those things, Teddy has the most knowledge. He knows how Sean Payton would work. He was pretty astute. He had lots of starts there. Saw them both play live. Always like to touch upon that. But I want to shift it to your team, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Hey,
and
man.
It's a win with an asterisk because everybody was injured, but damn it, is a good win.
Oh no, it was. It was refreshing to see the Dolphins win a game that, given the circumstances of what's going on with San Francisco and stuff, we get it. But
take it.
They still won a game that I believe they should have won given those circumstances. You don't want to lose a game like that.
You don't want to be the Giants?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose a game like that. They went all the way to Santa Clara and beat them, all right? And it was just a thorough beatdown. Just a thorough beatdown. Freaking Fitzmagic on that day. No Fitzception. All right? When he gets more interceptions than touchdowns, then he becomes Fitzception. He's a Jekyll and Hyde in that way. We still haven't used Tua yet.
I wanted to know why. Because here's the thing. You won 43-17. You thoroughly outscored them by the third quarter. Why?
So, look at this. Look at this stat for Fitzpatrick. He's now 31-12-1 in his career in games without a turnover. All right, so if he, it's like he would be a Hall of Fame quarterback if it wasn't for his Fitzception persona.
People like that gunslinger mentality, and he's smart too. It's just he's ballsy. But
he'd be Brett Favre if things had gone a different way.
Instead, he's just Brett Favre. So why not Tua? Why not do we just give a little tryout to see what you have? I mean, you did 28 attempts. You had a lead in the third quarter. It's just that Brian Flores doesn't want to cause any unnecessary injury. Because I found that interesting. Granted, you guys ran the ball close to 30-plus times, and I like Myles Gaskin for fantasy purposes, but your offense would be so much better if you knew how to get a guy who can run between tackles. Is that A.J. Brown going to touchdown? Almost. Matt Breida hasn't really shined into it, but it was good. It was what you needed to do, and yeah, you picked up Garoppolo because he was uncomfortable. But I think what mattered most is you just kind of kept with the rhythm. And Devontae Parker had only 2 catches, but still something. But Preston Williams, I think he had a long ball, so you take away 47 yards of that. But it just feels like next year, and when we say next year, we say next year if you had a dynamic running back, and there might be some dudes available, and if you had more wide receivers, because I can't buy into Mike Gesicki. It really just seems like when he plays bad defenses, that's when he shows up. But for a tight end, you want a guy who can block and who can catch in the end zone for the most part. Mm-hmm. But it can be very interesting to see what they do there. But it's good to be in your position at 2 and 3.
It's an encouraging. Well, I mean, they're doing better than they were last season already. That's one. Look, nobody expected the playoffs this year, and given the way things will go, maybe there could be a miracle, but it'd be very hard. Like I said, they've got some tough teams that they're facing this season. From the, I think we've yet to face. I think we have to face the Chiefs this year. So there's it's going to be difficult, but it's encouraging. I think Brian Flores is also he's learning on the fly as well. But
So here's your
team
schedule.
it's getting ready, man. It should be next season where they can at least compete for a spot, and it won't seem like a fluke.
Yeah. Well, you take every fluke that you can get, but best case scenario schedule at 2-3.
So
I'm
next
read it down for you.
we've got the New York Jets. Well, if
That's a win.
if everything clears up for them with regards to the virus.
Yeah.
Got the LA Rams, who are playing well. I don't expect us to win that one. No. The Arizona Cardinals, that's a winnable game.
Yeah, you can win that.
The LA Chargers.
Yeah, you can win it because they choke.
Yeah. Denver Broncos, that's a win. The Jets again, that's a win.
Win.
The Bengals.
Win.
Yeah. The Chiefs, that's a loss. The Patriots, that's a loss. The Raiders are playing well right now. We'll see what happens by the end of the season. And the Bills, we'll see what happens after tonight. Won't we?
It's possible, but that could come out 8-9, and that just might be enough.
Yeah.
To get what you have to get, assuming there's no injuries, and assuming that there's consistency. But I will say this: Flores seems to be the only Patriot hire in the last several years who seems competent. Because Matt Patricia, garbage.
I mean, I think it's because he's. I mean, how long he was under Bill Belichick's system for quite a while, so that's a long time to learn. It wasn't like he became like the hot shot that seemed like the first one to get a job out the gate. It seems like. So it's man, the Dodgers are really gonna choke this one, aren't they? They're not gonna win the National League Championship. They really are not.
Hey.
3-0.
Anybody but the Astros.
Go Rays. Go Rays, I guess.
Go Rays.
Go Rays.
Go Rays.
I mean,
go Rays. Go Rays.
Keep it out of the National League, I guess. Sheesh.
Go Rays. And we'll talk about that in our basketball segment because, yes, it's been a very
And
rough
I will
week for
turn
Charles
heel
Defense.
if it's the Braves and the Astros. I tell you.
Oh man. No.
I've got my Astros hat. It is on standby. I'm telling you.
I will listen. Spoiler alert. I will quit baseball for the rest of my life, and I'm not being dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. I'm not being, I'm not exaggerating. I will quit the first introductory sport that I had as a child at 5 to 6 years old. The thing I've been supporting for 25 years. It's not the team. I will quit the sport. If I had little kids, there would be no little league. If I had, if I had my nephew who wants to, become a baseball player, there's none of that. There's no support. It is literally like the concept of baseball killed my family, and now I have to become Batman and fight against it. It's Joe Chill, for lack of a better word. And that's right, folks. Joe Chill killed Bruce Wayne's parents, not the Joker. That's the one wrong thing about the 1980s Batman movie, which is still fabulous. I saw it the other day. I can't do it, man. We can't turn heel. But we're going to talk about MLB because we got to segment it a little bit, right? But football-wise, what I want to kind of lead it on my end, I really have nothing else to contribute afterwards, is football going to get canceled, and why is Roger Goodell trying to put everything on my Titans for something that he could have prevented 7 months ago when they actually had a real plan? Because now they're talking about forfeits, and you can't forfeit.
No, you didn't even have that in Major League Baseball.
I'd rather you give ties, and I'll just accept it. Because the one-time ties make sense because it doesn't affect the winning, but you get one tie. Because the idea is you should get your shit straight.
Honestly, I think they should just reschedule. I mean, they're already doing some gymnastics with the rescheduling already, so that's already happening. And I mean, heck,
owners don't want Week 18.
I mean, we're playing a game on Tuesday night right now. There's room in the schedule. Sheesh. If anything, the extra rest is going to help some teams. In some regards, just push back the Super Bowl. My God, nobody. Well, just push it back.
there's not going to be March Madness. So
Right now, everything's on standby with regards to everything else, anyways. So, hey, look at that. Marvel.
So,
You can get Marvel figures now. Avengers, Infinity War, Captain America,
oh,
Civil War. Look at that.
we're
Look at that Black
fancy.
Panther one right there. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You know?
if you want to show how really much of a non-adult you are, like Charles does in his office, get Marvel heavyweights, Eagle Moss, Hero Collector, starting at $9.99.
Were you ever? Hold on. Here's another aside here. Okay, that Avengers video game. I've been hearing bad things about it.
I don't pay I don't pay $60 for any video game.
Yeah.
I trade in, I have no loyalty, and I get great discounts because I know when to trade them in, man. Two, it's gonna be one of those things where, like, if it's $20 for Christmas, but I'm not crazy about grindy games for end game content. I'm more of a story person, and at 31, I don't know how to play with random strangers now. It's weird. I'm sensitive. Yeah. Maybe they're gonna judge me because I don't have the skills to be as good as I should be. Because I feel like for a game that's gonna loot up for cosmetics and for full powers, it will take me so much longer than it would 5-6 years ago. And is it going to be fun? Like, I've heard the story is good. It doesn't look good graphically, and mind you, we're in a day and age where nothing should really look bad graphically. I think it's more disappointing that it's Crystal Dynamics, who made excellent redoings of the Tomb Raiders. Yeah. I didn't want to call them a remake, but a reintroduction, because I love the first one. I have Rise of Tomb Raider, which I haven't played, but I've had it for like 3 years, so I should get to it. It's just too many games. And then eventually I'll get Shadow. But my problem with the Avengers that stopped me in the first place is you made the MCU version, and I am a comic book nerd, connoisseur, activist, whatever you call it. So if I want to just have a grindy beat 'em up aspect with it, I'll just play Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, which I played and I loved, and eventually I'll buy the DLC to do the Fantastic Four, Shadow of Doom, and even the X-Men stuff. I don't want to see, I do not need to see Thor again. I do not need to see Iron Man. I don't need to see Black Widow, who's just not fun as a superhero character because she just shoots things.
Yeah. It's not even a superhero.
Same thing with Hawkeye. Love Hawkeye, even the comics. If you want to read good Hawkeye comics, read the Jeff Lemire stuff. That stuff's real good. I think that's the writer who did that one. It's been a bit. But I don't want to shoot arrows. I want to Hulk Smash. Hulk Smash is always appropriate. But give me some Namor, man. Give me some Mariner, some weird stuff. Where's my X-Men? My X-Men have been disrespected in the movies enough.
Get some Darkhawk. Get some Moon Knight.
Yeah,
some of those D-listers in there.
Listen, if you want to hear Moon Knight, Warren Ellis run, 2015, read it. Marvel Unlimited. I know who my non-sponsor is. But listen, you want to get some good stuff, get that good stuff there. But $20, maybe. If I get it for free for Christmas, sure. But if you want me to play an Avengers game, I'll just play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which came out a year ago, and I loved it, or 2 years ago. Year and a half. I don't remember what I was talking about NFL. Screw you, Roger Goodell. Stop hating on my Titans. You just hate us that a small market team is going to win the Super Bowl. Optimistic thinking. That's what I got for you there. I got nothing else on the NFL except Dak. 2 seconds on Dak. Yeah. Ouch. And they are the smartest people for getting Andy Dalton on the cheap because everybody hated Red Rifle.
That's true. Now you got a capable backup.
You have a beyond capable backup because Andy Dalton. Everybody forgets that it takes the complete 53 men to get into the playoffs and a competent coach. And Marvin Lewis was just on his way out. AJ Green got hurt all the time, and they had overspent on that defense with like Damano Pecco and a few other guys there that they couldn't afford anybody. So he was a product of circumstance. But you put Red Rifle with CeeDee Lamb, Mari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. I don't really care about Dane Schultz. I think he's just a fantasy wonder, and that's it. And then the defense is just atrocious. Mike McCarthy, what are you going to do? Hire Dom Capers out and try to remake magic here? Fire Mike Nolan. Grow a pair. But Red Rifle is going to be fun, and Zeke still eats. So out of all people, it's not as if you're saying, we're going to start Kyle Allen. He.
Yeah. But, hold on, let me, let's see, do I have any other notes? Romeo Cornell's back. That's a thing. I mean, he got a victory. He's the oldest NFL head coach ever now to ever coach a game.
Yeah, and
beat George Halas of the Bears. So there you go.
I think that's the right person there because he's always kind of been more of a player's coach.
It seems like it's like Dusty Baker on the Houston Astros in a sense. He'll instantly get respect from the guys.
Yeah, and here's the thing: he has a proven track record of being an excellent coordinator. And I think that's the best thing there. And that's the reason why Bill O'Brien put him in, is that for a calming effect. But Bill O'Brien was a dick, for lack of a better word. And I'm going to say right now, Bill O'Brien's going to get another head coaching job. The guy was able to take a franchise that was kind of coming in from the disappointment of Gary Kubiak, who couldn't do anything there. He did some stuff, but it was just like peaking a little bit too early with Matt Schwab era. Was able to rotate out with Ryan Mallett, Brandon Whedon, Brock Osweiler, still go to the playoffs, got Deshaun, did some good stuff. He'll get a chance. It's just that organization that hires him will be smart not to give him power in that sense. And honestly, the way I see him go, he's going to probably end up in Minnesota with Mike Zimmer. I know they gave Zimmer a contract extension. We all know that means nothing. It's a very "what have you done for me lately" thing. I think that's very under the radar. He might even be in Detroit because they're going. They did Matt Patricia, and it didn't work out. They fired Jim Caldwell for going 9-7, but he could be a motivator of men.
Yeah.
But he's going to have another chance, and he should, because I'm not crazy about recidivism in any kind of coaching atmosphere. But when you have a lot of AFC North or AFC South titles, deep Super Bowl, or not Super Bowl, but playoff appearances and respectability in the game, you get a chance. It's not like Adam Gase, who literally did nothing in Miami except for one season.
Keeps falling forward,
Yeah, and that's the difference,
Failing
and that's
forward,
why it's okay. It's okay to do that,
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, Gase stumbles forward, he doesn't fall back. But yeah, so Bill O'Brien, that's it. But good for Deshaun. I like Deshaun Watson. Hopefully they do something. Listen, if you want to trade Julio Jones, you're not doing anything with Randall Cobb. Just figure out his contract and toss it out. And Kenny Stills, and just put your money in.
Yeah, there's something. Two teams that can work things out there.
Why not? I mean, the salaries are probably similar, so just do a trade for salaries. Yeah. You get, the Falcons. You see, it's not like basketball, because basketball, what's great about basketball, it's about simple math. If you're trading away $2 million, we have to give you $2 million. Right. That's how they play in with, and I think that's great, to be honest with you, because that's how you kind of avoid the cap situation. But yeah, that's all I got for them.
All right. Can you take this a bit? I got a call for some reason. Let me talk to these people.
Okay. I'll attack on some more NFL. Other news about NFL as Francisco goes to do Francisco things. Going over the sports cast there. Pittsburgh and Philly. Is Pittsburgh really that good, or is Philadelphia just that bad? And if Pittsburgh is that good, are they benefiting from the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is not turning the corner? Because you got to remember, he's an older quarterback. The injury thing, it's whatever. But at $41 million per year, I think it's a cap hit next year, you have to be cognizant of what the future is.
Steelers aren't that good, according to Freddie.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm with Freddie, because that's why I raised that up as a question.
I mean, sheesh. Hold on. I guess because we're about to come up on the 1 hour mark. Let's take a look at the standings. Just get out of it, because we're like a quarter of the way through the season now.
It's important, yeah.
So we got the Bills. Well, we'll see what happens after tonight, but they're leading the AFC East at the moment, 14-10 at the moment. Titans got the ball. Then you got the Steelers at 4-0, but you do not believe in them, and I think the Ravens and
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, the Browns have also looked good too. So
I think the Browns are a better team.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it.
They seem to be more complete, really, which is surprising for anybody to say about Cleveland. But man, yeah,
I think they're better coached. I think Stefanski is he was the right hire. We made fun of Freddie Kitchens. I'm like, what? But with Stefanski, it's just he knew what his strengths were, but he's open to interpretation, because it's about giving Odell, weird stuff. It's about letting Jarvis do Jarvis things. It's not about trying to ask more than guys of what they can do. And it's about understanding that defense is monstrous and let Myles Garrett get destructive. And my God, they do. And the Steelers have a good team too, but I think it's also the Mike Tomlin effect. After guys, it's been 12 years now with Mike Tomlin? Is there. Looking at Freddie, says Ravens win division, Browns wild card, Steelers not even better than Dolphins. Standing wise, they are, but I'm with you on the idea of how they're system out. And with the Ravens, I think they're flirting away from what made them so great last year. It's concerning because yes, you battered who did they beat? They beat Cincy. Cincy's not good, so take your easy wins. But you're keeping away from running the ball. You're just letting it be the Lamar show. And maybe I'm biased because I have Mark Ingram on one fantasy, but I also have J.K. Dobbins, another one. Feed that ball more and then go more to your play action and let people go into it, because you got to remember you were sweating. You were sweating a couple weeks back, and you lost to the Chiefs. So if you want to just take a W against bad teams, go ahead. But I can't sleep on the Browns. But mind you, all this matters when they actually beat a team in their division because that's really what matters most, right? But I'm liking, and even when Baker's bad, it's not like terrible. It's just Baker making boneheaded throws.
All right, so let's. You got your Titans at 3-0. We'll see what happens after today, and the Chiefs at 4-1. But we'll keep it going here. Baltimore Ravens and the Browns on. You got the wild card spots. The Raiders 3-2. I guess they're trending upwards.
Can we put some respect on Derek Carr's name?
Yeah.
Because I know everybody was giving them flack saying he doesn't throw the downfield. So you want a quarterback who throws picks? Because I had Jake Walker. I can talk to you about that. I had Ryan Fitzpatrick as my quarterback, and that was in the bad years. I can talk to you about that. You want you want the Daniel Jones situation where everything's a pick? So I'd rather have a conservative, good game plan than, mind you, missing open receivers is one thing. Yes, Carr does fumble a bit, but I think every quarterback does when they're running that often. But put some respect on his name. That defense is trash, though. Even though they shut down the Chiefs, there's not anybody who really scares you on that team, I would say.
NFC side.
Jesus Christ. Did you see Derrick Henry just manhandle that defender?
Yeah.
Was that Tre'Davious White? And that's a flag. I don't even care. But it's the same thing of how they got, brother banger Earl Thomas. It was Josh Norman. His best days are behind him. But, remember when he stiff-armed Earl Thomas when it was against the Ravens? Well, he just basically said, Josh Norman, I'm sending you back to your mother's womb with this stiff arm.
Look at that. Dear Lord.
My
God.
sheesh.
It's too bad he went out of bounds there because that was just, oh, my God.
But let's look at this one more time.
There's a couple generations of families that felt that one.
Oh, my goodness.
Sheesh, you're performing seppuku after that if you're Japanese.
Pretty much.
Family.
The scary thing about Derrick Henry? He's built like a UFC fighter. He can go and join the WWE when it's all said and done. I know Vince wanted Gronk, but no, give me Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
give me
that was very juicy. I like that one. That's always fun, man. Yep, the Braves they're winning this one. They've broken it wide open. Oh boy.
We're gonna get that baseball topic, and it's gonna sting.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, Seahawks. Yeah, they're very good. The Packers, you don't think are very good, or at least Aaron Rodgers isn't very good.
Frauds.
We'll see. I'm on the.
You're supposed to beat the bad teams, beating and shellacking.
They're just doing their jobs. They're doing what they're supposed to do. We'll see. Okay, all right. The Saints at 3-2 in a very bad division, and the Cowboys at 2-3 in a very bad division. The Rams are good. They're playing good ball. They're 4-1. They really the NFC East should be thrown away completely, and these other teams should have their spots.
Do we just get rid of divisions in general if a bad NFC East team wins the Super Bowl? Yeah. I'm just asking. Right, we got to.
Yeah. All right, so that's our look. Let's head on over to a word from our non-sponsors. That's where we're headed for in the middle here. People, places, things, concepts. It's not just about, getting your Marvel figures and your Star Trek figures. It's not just about that. It's about the people who don't pay us and stuff that we like over the past week. I guess I'll start. I actually thought about it this week.
And Freddie has one, so we'll go to Freddie after you're done with yours.
Exactly. He could post it up, and then I can be ready to put it up later. All right, mine. Charles. I've been streaming, been doing my thing on my other channel, trying to get a steady stream going of me playing video games, because throughout the virus, I've just been playing my go-tos, my Rocket Leagues and Smash and the easy stuff. But I'm trying to really get to that backlog and get to the other games that I'm trying to diversify my video game palette. Well, right. Nintendo, there's one thing Nintendo does, and it's ruin my backlog aspirations. Because if you see on the screen here,
yeah,
they came out with something. They came out with something. Oh yeah.
Is it great? Because I didn't watch your stream on it or any recordings, but I just knew it was a dirty rabbit hole game for me because I would put on an audiobook from Audible and I would play it, and I have to avoid that.
Yeah. This is it. I mean, it's not about Fall Guys, which I have yet to play either. Hey, look, they're
Oh, are we
sponsoring us
sponsored
too.
by Fall Guys? We
Yeah.
not sponsored them, I think. I think I
Yeah.
non-sponsored them, and I sent you the Sonic Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fall Guys, right?
They actually sponsored us after our non-sponsor. That's great.
Wow.
That's the first one. Fall Guys. All right. They got the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. That interests me right away. Ninjala was on Switch and they had a Sonic the Hedgehog thing, but it was $20 to get a Sonic costume. I'm not paying that.
I haven't played that yet, and it's downloaded. It's just
yeah.
I haven't had the chance.
It's good. I like it, but you can't afford the cosmetic stuff. It's way too out. That's a fantastic catch out there in center field for the Dodgers, but the Braves are still destroying them. So it's still
What is cosmetics to you? Not to deviate, but it's all
cosmetics.
related.
Getting a
That
costume.
even
Stuff that
matter?
doesn't affect the gameplay itself. It's just hey, I want to look like Sonic the Hedgehog while I lose in this video game. So I don't like buying cosmetic stuff. It's like even the stuff in Smash, I don't buy that. The Mii costumes, whatever. It really, and plus I don't really play the Mii characters anyways. The Mii Gunner every once in a while, but
at least fun. Well, no, you do the Mii Gunner for Mega Man, plain and simple. If you make your own Mii thing. But tell me, or Proto Man technically. Tell me about Super Mario Bros. 35.
Super Mario 35, a Super Mario Brothers Battle Royale. Because that's all the rage, just like Fall Guys. Look, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was when I went into it. I thought it'd be something like Tetris 99, which was good. I'm gonna tell you it's good, but I thought I would, at some point you burn out on it, and I have, and I have to get back into it. It's still a good game. Super Mario Bros. 35. Look, I don't online game as much, really. I play some matches in Smash and Rocket League, and that's it. And maybe some Clubhouse games. But I don't think I'm as hardcore as other people are, out there. And it's mainly because there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to get good to the point where those people are. So you burn out a little bit. You reach a ceiling as far as your skill level because you just can't dedicate that time when you have responsibilities and life and all that crap. So Super Mario Bros. 35 comes out. I start playing it, and man, I am very good at this game.
How good?
It's 35 people. It's Super Mario Brothers, the original one. There's a difference though. You're playing against 34 other people, and as you kill enemies, those enemies could be transferred to your screen, and now people are throwing enemies at you. So if you kill enemies, you throw it to them. They kill enemies, they can throw it to you. There's a time limit, of course, just like regular Super Mario Brothers. And as you kill enemies, you can amass time to help you with your own timer. And there's a roulette wheel. You can get coins, so you can spend it to get stars or mushrooms or fire flowers, or get a power block and get rid of enemies just to help you out and keep you alive. The last man standing, or woman, whatever you want to call it, or Mario, the last Mario standing wins. And you're just blazing through the levels in Super Mario Brothers, but there's a strategy to it. It's not about speed running, which is what I was afraid of at the beginning, because you look at it and it seems like it's a speed running type of game. Like, okay, I could beat Super Mario Brothers, the original game, pretty quickly, but I'm not like people you see on YouTube that can beat it in like 2 minutes because they glitch out the game. No. This is about surviving. This is about strategy with regards to what level you're in, what type of enemies you got. There's like a thing at the top which you can send enemies to the people with the lowest time, the people who have the most coins, or the people who are attacking you. And it's a strategy as, okay, who do I want to get rid of? Who do I want to knock out of the game so that I can keep going and I can place in a top 5? And I average 3rd place right now. That's my average at the moment.
Have you gotten a first place at some point?
I've won a couple times already. It's hard. It's not easy. These games, you think they're pick up and play, and they are. They're pick up and play. You jump right into a match real quickly. But the match grinds when you start getting to the last 5 people. So it's a matter of endurance and just your stamina, really. It is survival.
What's the length of an average playthrough?
Ooh, I would say, sheesh, man. I think you could. A quick game could probably be. I mean, it really depends on how, but like, let's say the top, because you can get to maybe like within like 5, maybe 10 minutes, you'll get to like the last 10 people alive.
Okay, so 15 minutes then.
So 15 or so minutes, maybe 20 minutes if you're really grinding between the last 2 people. And that's the thing. It's just a matter of outlasting your other opponent. You can't make mistakes, obviously. You can get hit. It's a modified Super Mario Brothers, so it's not the same as the original. If you get hit, you don't immediately become regular Mario. You just turn into Super Mario. Like if you had the Fire Flower, then you Super Mario and then regular Mario. So you can jump a little higher off of enemies compared to the original Mario Brothers. So you can chain kills and get more time and stuff like that.
This is another one that's a short release, just like Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which was a non-sponsor about 3 weeks ago.
It's limited time. They said I think it's the same as Mario All-Stars. Yep. When that stops being sold, this one will stop being a. But I still don't believe Nintendo's going to do that, to be honest.
They have nothing to gain by taking this one off, because if you're short releasing 3D All-Stars, it makes sense. Because what did I do? The day it came out, I bought it.
Yeah.
You're going to have a high demand.
I still think they're going to modify this because they've done it to Tetris 99. I think you can buy like a regular mode in Tetris 99. I think you'll be able to do like I think maybe they can have like a local multiplayer mode, or maybe you can have cosmetics, all the different costumes from like Mario Odyssey that you had for 2D Mario. I mean, you can probably get Luigi in this. It's just Mario right now. I could see them like charging, hey, how about 99 cents you get Luigi? It's like, okay, cool. For people like
could be Toad.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, they already did that for Super Mario Maker, so there's no reason they can't do it here. They could do collabs. Hey, want to be Sonic? Something like that. But man, this game is good, man. It is good. It's better than it had any right to be, especially being not technically free. You have to buy the Nintendo Switch Online service, but
$20 for a year, guys.
Yeah,
that'd be cheap.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, and they have special battles every now and then, and it's just good, man. So, Super Mario Bros. 35. If you have a Switch, there's no reason for you to not download this at all. Man. Just get it. You'll like it. If you suck at it, that's fine. Get Fall Guys instead. They're sponsoring us now. We're gonna promote them hard.
And Charles had fun with it. So promo code.
Hammer Brothers suck. Because those are the banes of any Mario fan's existence right now.
Especially this game. And I remember I was texting you because when I had that conference call, I was playing old school Super Mario 1.
Yeah.
On the Switch Online, and having to revisit that, I was like, Jesus Christ. One, I didn't forget, because I gotta tell you now, pause and rewinds, lifesaver. Games that you take hours upon hours, and you young kids don't understand. We didn't have that option to save or rewind.
I blazed through Donkey Kong Country 2 in like a day because of that. Yeah. All right, so Freddy's got one, the Spring League. So let me see. The Spring League. Hope it's something that's common here. American Football League and scouting event that began play in 2017 and founded by Brian Woods. Aimed at professional athletes but not paying a salary or expenses. The league's goal is to serve as an instructional league and showcase for professional football talent. So let's take a look at that right here. Spring League, Elite Professional Football Development League. So is this more for the guys that, let's say, there's a guy that had a Hamilton Tiger Cats shirt, so he'll start playing 2 weeks from today.
Hey,
I would say the guys that went undrafted, guys that are in the CFL,
is it
whatever
like
indoor football league.
Would you say, Freddie, that's the equivalent of like the basketball tournament that ESPN always has with a lot of no-name guys who weren't good enough to get drafted to begin with? Because that's always what I think about before the CV hit.
CFL and XFL guys. Yeah, before they make it to XFL 2, Electric Boogaloo, or XFL 3, really.
Can we call it XFL 3 Rock Hard? Or Rock Bottom?
Rock Bottom. Oh my God, that's even better.
Yeah, it's either Rock Bottom. You have to do it with the WWE puns. SmackDown Hotel. Can you smell what the XFL is?
Hey, we can apply here. You want to apply, Charles?
I mean, what? I'm 5'7".
Fox Sports will carry it on FS1. Look at that.
It could be a kicker. Well, Fox Sports would carry anything. They need that competition with ESPN because they're bleeding money.
I thought ABC owned them now, or Disney bought them. I don't know the details of that.
So Disney only bought the entertainment properties, but not Fox Sports. So it's a separate entity. Because if that was the case, then Mouse would own WWE, and I don't know if that's actually better than what you think. Granted, I want to see, I would love to see Goofy get F5 by Brock Lesnar, but that's a different story. But it's kind of bad because, when Fox Sports will buy out anything for that production, but, it's bad when Disney doesn't want to buy your market.
Former Tennessee Titans defensive end David Gilbert to play in the Denver showcase. So, okay. Former Chicago Bears, former Stanford University.
That's like a big thing. So this is basically our third attempt on the show trying to find suitable developmental systems. Because the AA, or American Lions Football, I wasn't about that to begin with. XFL, I was kind of okay with. And now we have the Spring League.
Go back and go to the Twitter.
Freddie, is this their inception, or have they been around before? Because I never heard about it.
There's their Twitter profile. We know how to play football the right way. They've been 2017 it said.
All right. So 2017, so they should all just kind of can join together and work together.
Mm-hmm. Where is this? I saw. Are these in different locations? Are they like a traveling thing, kind of like the Big Three or whatever? It's in San Antonio this year. Okay.
Hey, if you want to get some love with football, Texas is the place to go.
That's true. Go right into that bubble.
It might
play at that. I'm assuming at the Alamo Dome. The rosters, if you can scroll down. All right. So this video is about to finish. Running out defensive back results. Okay. Oh, they have different teams. Aviators. The Jousters.
Is that like the least intimidating football name that you heard?
The Jousters?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Andrew might actually like this one because it's kind of UCF-ish.
It's like UCF had a baby with
the Orlando soccer team, whatever, because they're purple.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is our side segment. We're looking into this.
Yeah. I like this. The shark here. The blues. That's a different way. That's a different interpretation of blues.
So if you lose, you have to play Elton John. I guess why they call it the blues. I liked actually the shark design. It's not like an overly cheesy caricature.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Let's see. Another Aviators. So there's some boys there. Jousters. Is it just like 4 teams? Just round robin against each other?
Yeah, I mean, if at the end of the day, if it's just everybody's trying to get some updates onto it.
Six
16.
teams. Okay.
I will Google that
Aviators,
side segment.
jousters. Gotta load the whole threads to see others. Ah, okay. The
All right,
alphas. Okay, alpha dogs or wolf. Yeah. Fall guys
so-
again with the
Alphas, generals, aviators, blues, conquerors,
Conquerors.
jousters. Those are like the you can rename your new team in Madden. So instead of being the Cleveland Browns,
old Maddens, not the current Maddens.
if you could just name the Fall Guys. Thanks for sponsoring us. We love you. Maybe I'll play your game
Thanks
later in the
for
week.
a typo there. Sheesh. Get it together,
That
Fall
makes-
guys. Making a
that
ton of
makes-
money.
So wait, it's not a bot that's doing it. There's somebody who actually listens to the show. Wow.
You imagine?
Listen, I have never seen you. Literally, they've been sponsored us twice in the thread.
Yeah.
So I didn't see a Tabanks in there.
Same logo, new name, Aviators. Okay, look at that.
Freddie, you got a promo code for us?
Team reveal, the Jousters. Oh man, that blues. That's a
I kind
good
of like
fo-
the
that's a-
Aviator though. I like the little design that they
Looks
have.
like the guy from Up. The
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah, spring comes early.
Spring comes early. Mhm.
Promo code spring comes early for the spring league.
I like that blues. Let's see.
We live
Conquerors.
in Florida. We don't know what spring is.
Got Conquerors. Okay. The Alphas.
Why is everything as a conqueror is like a Spartan?
The
Yeah,
Generals.
there's many. You don't see like General Cortez out there, right?
I think maybe political correctness. I don't know.
Nah.
We don't have the
Manifest destiny,
Columbuses anymore, Even though you have teams here in Miami that still have those names. The Crusaders, whatever. Even though historically the Crusaders lost most of the time. So. All right. There we go, the Spring League. And they've survived, really. Because they've been since 2017. The AAF went down. XFL 2 went down.
They were the ones putting on the hits, man.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna survive it.
Mm-hmm.
Good on them.
Well, they don't pay their players, remember? So it's just kind of a showcase thing.
Yeah, can't lose if you don't play, right?
All right, then.
All right, I guess I'm up. I don't remember originally what I had a person, or not person, but I had a thing set for it, and it was probably food. It usually is food.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, guys, it's food. But I kind of talked about it earlier anyway when we were talking about Marvel Champions, so I'm going to go with it. My non-sponsor is Marvel Unlimited. Your boy likes his comics. He likes to read. I don't do it every day. I get the cravings. I have to binge it when I'm reading something good. I had recently just finished Warren Ellis's run of Moon Knight, which I'm really hoping that Disney Plus, which I would never sponsor because I don't believe in giving Disney more of my money, will take from those storylines and adapt the show like that. But it's something that I got about 5-6 years ago when I started with law school because it was my little side thing. I never got to read a lot of comics growing up as a kid. Like, they were around, but there was no consistency. And when you're younger, you don't know the rules of the game. Issues, subplots, it's really like tough to buy. Comics are crossing over with one another because there's just too many. Marvel does too many crossovers. DC does too many crossovers. And I was too poor to buy omnibuses. And now in today's age, if I was to litter everything with comic books and graphic novels, I have no space in my home. So I got this about 6 years ago, the yearly subscription. I never knew about it until someone suggested it to me. And I started with Jason Aaron's Thor run, and I absolutely loved it with Gore the God Butcher. So I'm really hoping that Christian Bale might be the villain in Love and Thunder. So if they have him as Gore, I would just totally gore my pants. But it's something that I keep up with. I get it every year. It's my annual subscription. I really don't do annual subscriptions, but for $70, when I can read as much as you have in the catalog, there's like 20,000 comics in there, you guys. And here's the thing, comics aren't cheap. I do a cost-benefit analysis whenever I buy anything for an annual thing. So new comics are about $3. Old comics can still go for $1.50 or $2 to read as a physical issue. So if it's $70, I really just have to read about 20 comics, and the standard run is usually about 20 comics as it is. Ryan Tannehill, why did you skip? He just got a touchdown. Nobody tripped over skipping. Oh, you silly white boy. But I think it's a good investment. It allows me to kind of broaden my horizons because I don't read the comics that everybody tells me to read. I read the stuff that's weird and goofy, or just
Look at
somebody
that
I never
man. Look at that man
I never.
run.
It's so weird. He
Look
skipped
at that
Baloo, my
flip.
darling. He
Oh,
skipped my darling.
there's some swagger
Um,
there.
hey, he look, he's playing great. I can't like knock it. I know it's 4 games in, but he's playing pretty damn good. So I had finished that. I know I'm reading. Is it Age of X or House of X, which is an X-Men run because there hasn't been a good X-Men comic in a while. Some of the good stuff that I've read that has opened me up to, aside from Moon Knight, I love Frank Miller's Daredevil, Man Without Fear. It's so good. It's what they adapted a lot of the Netflix show of. I read Spider-Man Blue by Jeff Loeb, who I typically read. Jeff Loeb, who I've read from the. They also did Dark Victory, The Long Halloween, Haunted Night. This from the DC world. DC has their own comparable, and I haven't signed up for it yet, and I'm kind of not going to now because before you would get the comics and then you would get the TV shows, but now that HBO Max is classifying everything, you have
Down. All right. So, okay. So it seems I'm back on. All right, folks. That's I guess on me for some reason. My internet connection went down a bit. So, whoopsie daisies for on my end. So we're back here on Sports Goofs. Let me get Charles back on the horn. I lost him there. Charles.
hey, you good?
Yeah, no, I guess my internet connection went down for some reason. It went down for like a good minute there.
Wow. So thankfully, my confessions of being a closet nerd did not come out. I guess no one heard it, right, Freddie? Freddie knows all the secrets now. We have to kill Freddie.
Let's see. Yeah, the whole thing went down. It seemed like it was on my end. Like suddenly you just disappeared in the middle of that beautiful pitch for Marvel Unlimited. So,
yeah. Well, I don't know what was said or lost, but I'll say this. Long story short, if you want to read thousands upon thousands of comics for $70, you probably have to read just 15 of them, and then they get the new releases, I think, 3 to 6 months after. So it's worth it. Give it a try. Do a trial run. See how it is. Have fun with it. Read more. Do that. Promo code Excelsior. There you go.
Excelsior. All righty then. So, guess we will end that segment.
We got to talk about Francisco. We can't avoid it.
What?
You know.
Yeah. Let's go to Let's Haul Y'all.
Let's Haul Y'all.
Nothing happened this weekend, Charles. You know that. Nothing happened.
I accepted it because I didn't buy into the great hope.
Nothing happened.
Y'all. I think we know who should get the respects of it, so let's do it.
Yeah, we're 2020 has been a rough year for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, we lost a good one, Joe Morgan. Another good one, really, but Joe Morgan.
Whitey Ford died last week.
Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Baseball. I mean that was legend, man. 90s, early 2000s, John Miller and Joe Morgan. Sunday night, didn't matter what team it was. Those two guys were on. Those two guys should have been the ones calling World Series games, not Joe Buck and Tim McCarver.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know. But for real, this was the dynamic duo, and Joe Morgan, 77 years old, passed away. But let's take a look at this man. He's one of the greatest second basemen of all time in Major League Baseball history. I know things have changed in the game, for sure. But, second basemen have still relatively remained the same. You don't get power second baseman normally. But we'll see. Game is changing. Launch angle and all that crap. Exit speed. What have you. That's all the sabermetrics and analytics guys. They can worry about that. But for us, it's just about good old Joe Morgan here. Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, 10-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, 2 World Series championships on that big red machine of the 70s, All-Star MVP, Silver Slugger, 2-time Major League Player of the Year. Man. Look at this. He played for the Astros when they had, character and legitimacy and integrity.
Unlike the current team now. They're
Right.
trash.
The Reds, the big red machine, went briefly back to Houston, went to San Francisco a couple of seasons, went to Philly in '83, and they got to the World Series, and then ended his career in Oakland. But the man amassed a lot of 2,500 hits, career 271 batting average. His defense was, of course, elite, and he was just the second baseman, the second baseman of his generation.
And I wish people would realize how hard it is.
Holy
to
crap,
have
he was
that
born on my
long.
birthday, so we share a birthday. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
I wish people realize how hard it is.
Oh, no.
play-
Oh, no, September 19th. Oh, he made his debut and 2 days later on
on
my
your
birthday.
birthday.
Okay, that's
Okay. So it's perfect
So,
for you.
Either way.
I wish people understood how hard it is to play as long as he did
Yeah.
and to have a batting average that high. 271 is not easy.
Right.
I would say you get to your average range of being, and this is by today's standards, we cannot mimic 20 years ago plus, right?
Right.
It's not even 20 years ago. Holy crap, world.
Well,
30,
the good thing
33,
about
34 years ago.
the good thing about Baseball Reference, you can highlight like the prime years. We can just go by his time in Cincinnati, which was his prime. All these All-Star appearances. He had a 288 batting average. That was what he was doing. All right, he was
So I would
averaging
say-
144 hits per season. I mean, that he's a hit per game. He was guaranteed to be getting a single per game at the very least.
Yeah, and to go at that range of 271, that's not even above average.
Right.
That's like little great.
Yeah,
That's not even being an indictment. That's
Right.
great. We can't fully call it great because great to me is like 285. Not a lot of people get to that,
right.
right?
And
But
you have to
definitely what we
discount the final years. A lot of players, like he had 230 and 83. He had 244 in his final season. That's why I just went with his prime years there. But man, so that's Joe Morgan. But we lost another one, Charles,
DMA.
from your New York Yankees, Whitey Ford.
Oh, we're giving Whitey his love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, man, it seems like they're both coming in twos. I mean, sheesh at this point, but
And here's my comment on Whitey, because obviously it's so far back that I would be the biggest fake. And like I said, what I hate about pundits, they love to be a full commentary of stuff they weren't alive for, right? But this is what I'll give you to Whitey Ford from my end. You can bring up the stats. I'll be the conversation guy. There's a few names that you mentioned that are known in the legends of Yankees, right?
right.
Mantle, Babe,
Mm-hmm.
Whitey. Thurman Munson also gets some love too, but the depth kind of affect it. For my generation, of course, it's Jeter,
Right.
Mariano, Posada, maybe. I love me some Jorge, but
Gehrig. That's
Garrett, yeah. Lou Gehrig's another
Lou
one.
Gehrig. DiMaggio.
Yeah, DiMaggio, and then of course Mattingly gets a little bit of love
Yeah.
from me in my time too. But Whitey was kind of there because it's not like we had, I would say, a lot of pitchers who kind of stood out on them, and he, from his time, 10-time All-Star, 6-time World Series champion, all in an early generation that we're not necessarily there on, but we give credence because, yes, the game has changed 50 to 60 years from now, but it's more of seminal because what have the Yanks always had? Hitters. What have we always desired? Great pitching. Garrett Cole, could you be my Whitey Ford 2020? Maybe. He finished the year, for everybody out there, Cole Jobs, I think we said 8, right?
I'm sure
his
there was a
final-
Yankees fan that gave Ford jobs out there.
A Whitey righty? Oh. Oh, God.
We're gonna post that to the Yankee boards, the Yankees Twitter, see what they think about that one.
Oh, this is definitely this is what happens when
That's what happens when Fall Guys
when
sponsors
Andrew,
us right there.
yeah,
Sheesh.
when Andrew's not here.
It's the last time
Um,
they're sponsoring us, that's for sure.
but some basic stats. His ERA was 2.75, 236, 106 win-loss record. Strikeouts 1,956, all with the Yanks. 17-year career.
Yeah.
You love those kind of, and he was born in New York too, so it kind of puts it in there. Um, for me, it's obviously I'm cheap, but this is one of those things where it's like maybe I want to spend the $25 and get a Whitey Ford T-shirt. The typical Yankee, the blue, with the whole tire and then Ford on the background because it's him. I've looked into Mattingly, Roof, Gehrig, Mantle, and a few other ones that come into it. So for Joe Moore and for Whitey, like there you go, guys.
Yeah.
Or two Hall of Famers right there.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's continue to avoid the overarching topic. We're gonna go to better know a minor league team. All right. I'm gonna continue to be in denial, Charles. We're not gonna talk about it.
It's fine. But
everybody else is talking about it. We don't have to.
But can we spin it? That's the question. Can we spin it? Can we spin it in a good way?
We can dedicate a minute before you do your cage.
Okay, I can do that. I can segue into it. You know what? Why even talk about it? You all guys know we're going to talk about it. It's all right. You guys already know it.
Yeah. All right. Better know minor league team. So I'm making a point right now because Rob Manfred is an evil human being, and he is an eternal goon. So I'm going to.
There's no way back of coming into
it. Right, exactly. So we're gonna go with the Auburn Double Days.
Yay!
All right. So the reason I chose them, Charles, is they're one of the 42 teams that are in danger of being eliminated due to Major League Baseball trying to downsize the minor league system. All right, and it's not completely. I think only like 23 teams will be affected, so it's not even every team that's going to lose some. Some teams aren't losing any. The Yankees are only losing one team. And surprisingly, the Staten Island Yankees were one of them. I did not know that, but I was surprising to me, to be honest. But Auburn Double Days. So they were established in 1958. They weren't always called the Double Days. They're, of course, named after Abner Doubleday, who is, I guess, they said credited with inventing the game of baseball, but no one can know for sure. They play in the New York Penn League, short A season. They're currently affiliated of the Washington Nationals, but before that, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Houston Astros, I think a multitude of teams for like a season or two. They were shared between the Astros and the Phillies at one point. Then the Phillies solely, the Twins, the Mets, and the Yankees. In the past, they've won 8 championships, most recently in 2007. And notable alumni. So I guess because they were with the Astros for the longest time, so some of them are recognizable. The only ones I could recognize on this list here. But I've got Billy Wagner. Yeah, okay. That's a name they haven't heard in a while. Roy Oswalt.
I like Roy. Briefly a Yankee.
Yeah. Johan Santana. Another one.
Yeah, I was just talking about Johan earlier today, how I wish the Mets didn't ruin his career.
Right. Yeah. Luis Gonzalez. He came up with the Astros, I believe, so that's one. And Kenny Lofton.
Okay. And I stand corrected, not Roy Oswalt. The Yankees, I'm thinking Kerry Wood, because they kind of have like similar personalities. So redaction on me. That's a player to remember, forget right there.
Yeah.
Well, not Kerry's okay, but Kenny Lofton was the other one, huh?
Yeah, Kenny Lofton at the end. Yeah. Right. So. All right, they play at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. The ballpark was. The original was built in 1927. Then they tore it down and rebuilt it in 1995. And so it's on the same site, 2,800 people. It fits. And that's all I got on the Auburn Double Days. But I'm just highlighting the teams that may not even exist come next season. So I might as well get them out of the way now. Hopefully they can survive, but we'll see. We will see. All right, so that's minor league team. We did a real MVP.
Let's talk about my pain. If you don't want to talk about our shared pain, let's talk about my pain, Francisco.
Pain.
Keeping on the topic of baseball, what true pain is. What this is all about right now, because baseball is still being played, and baseball is not being played with the New York Yankees in the ALCS.
Yeah.
And for me, Revenge Tour, Paymakers 2020 has ceased to exist. We have passed the torch. We have Obi-Wan'd it to our young Luke Skywalkers, which is the Rays. Because I'll tell you now, I'm on the mindset of anybody but the Astros. And we played hard, but I'm going to keep it to two things about my pain, and then we can pass on to the next one. But I feel like baseball needs some love because I'm not going to be as excited for it in the coming weeks as is Andrew. But shout out to Andrew. Good on your team. I think I was a good sore or a proper loser, a sore loser. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I just wanted the Astros because this was a schedule that you didn't give me what I wanted. And next year, some of those players that were on the cheating years are not going to be there. AJ Hinch isn't there.
He could get hired. He could get hired.
I would. Well, he could get hired, and I'll bring that pain. But he's not going to be there in Houston. And we got eliminated, but I just want to know this. Am I overreacting for wanting Aaron Boone gone when the Chicago White Sox fired Rick Renteria? Yeah. I don't know why I say Renteria. I think I was reading it phonetically, and I forgot that I have some Hispanic roots in me. Rick Renteria.
Roll those R's, man. Come on now.
And they made it acceptable to say, hey, you could fire a manager who brought you success if you feel he's going to bring the clubhouse down. Because Boone's been resting on them laurels. I want you gone, but I also wanted the Astros. And I feel like that's a face mask. What the hell? And the fact that I'm not going to get it hurts my soul. And it really is like it's the Rays, but the Braves or the last line defense or the Dodgers. And I'm saying it right now on the air. If the Astros win it, this is my pain. This is what I was talking about earlier. I will quit baseball forever. I will have no comment, no nothing. I can contribute to things of the past, but I will have no valid interest because it just is a smack in the face of the universe. It's as if Loki is a sports god that has now made everything a big joke. Because when Carlos Correa was saying that thing, it's like, oh, what you guys are going to say now when they beat the Twins? I'm like, dude, it's just the wild card round. Shut the hell up. But then they took sure hand of the A's, who are frauds.
Yep.
And then we're not there. And everything is coming up daisies for us because the Rays are up 2-0, and we might be resolving stuff. But this was the problem I also had with the participation trophy season when everybody got to get in because there was no way, shape, or form that under regular rules or even revamped on a full season that the Astros, the way they were playing with the inconsistencies, were going to be a team that would be in the playoffs. I mean, what would you say is needed for a wild card team? 85 to 90 wins, right? The way that they were playing with their production of players.
It's kind of one of the reasons why I don't want them to roll this playoff format over next season.
I completely agree. Because here's the thing, what you know about
we don't need a team that's 79 and 82 to get in.
And that's where they were going because their batting averages were low, their pitching was bad, and they might win the World Series. This ain't football. I don't want this. No, this ain't basketball. I don't want that nonsense. Get that S out there. But I can't deal with it.
80 and 82, whatever. Any team with a losing record to get in.
And it kills me that Dusty Baker, who I always felt was shafted from every organization, is going to possibly win his first ring for
I don't. We'll see what happens with today. If the Rays go up 3-0, that's not happening.
I listen, man. You're talking to the team that was up high against the Red Sox.
Yeah, but this is different. This is the Rays don't have that type of pressure to and it's not that type of rivalry in front of them. Yeah, I know the Astros eliminated them last season, but it's not the same. It's not.
It's the whole purpose of it because, honestly speaking, it's that the true last line defense is that everybody on both teams gets the CV and they cancel the World Series. That's the true last line defense. I might have to be an agent of that. Go down to Miami. I have to go down to Fontainebleau, breathe on everybody, go from there and make my way into wherever the hell they're playing the World Series. I don't know if they've made a
Texas.
decision yet.
The,
I'll
yeah.
go to Texas. I'll go to Texas and I'll just cough on everybody.
Yeah, they're letting people into the ballpark.
I will take that L, Francisco. That's my pain. That's the smallest segment I'm going to give you on baseball because I wanted humor about it.
Yeah, my Marlins lost too, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, and you know my feeling. Look, man, I fucking hate the Braves. I hate them so much. I hate them so.
He hates them so much.
I hate them so freaking mad. I like the fact that Atlanta Look, Atlanta, great city. I love going to Atlanta as a city, but your misery in sports makes me feel better down here. You know, because look, South Florida, we got 7 championships. Unfortunately, we couldn't get an 8th. But but we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about it. You know what we are going to talk about? You know what we're going to say on that? One sentence.
Someone's got flames on the side of their face. So
listen, worth every penny. His name is Alfred Pennyworth because he's worth every penny. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no! And look, man, the recruitment's already worked. There are players that are indicating that they'd like to come down to play a certain sport that's on the screen right now from the Nintendo 64.
Do you want Oladipo? Because I don't want that contract, but I'll take that talent.
There's ways to work. Look, man. Remember the Heat. The Heat have those. Who's
We can't say names. We can't say executive name. We can't jinx it.
Who's Riley's right hand man, the numbers guy? We know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
All right. He works the magic. Remember, he moves the numbers around. All right. He does the money laundering. Don't worry. There's ways to get around that.
Wait, can I? There was a joke I want to make. It. This is the only thing we're going to talk about the finals, and I'm going to leave it at that. I promise you. What does Dion Waiters have that Jimmy Butler does not have?
Oh, don't.
Yeah,
just don't.
Yeah,
just don't. Just don't.
He rode the bench. He's Eddie Curry, buddy. Literally. Think on that.
Nope.
They're the same player. They're the same player.
I know. Heck, J.R. Smith got a second one. All right. Let's. So yeah, the Marlins lost too. But yeah, just freaking Dodgers, man. The Dodgers, they're really gonna choke this. I feel like the Dodgers are gonna choke it. I feel like they are not gonna come back from 2-0. I feel that way. They already look lost enough as it is. So.
Probably
came in. 1 second. You take it, Charles. 1 second.
Okay, I'll heat up. Francisco and Charles had a very bad week with sports. It's very tough. The best thing I can say for me, best case scenario, is that the Yanks and the Heat didn't get eliminated on the same day. Because you guys, Friday, I was just terrible. Because the Yanks got eliminated, and then the Heat are about to get eliminated. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a shot of something. Because I was so anxious and angry. And there was nothing to console me. There was no KFC, sandwich I was going to have. But then the Heat did good things, so we pushed it out.
All right. So let me. I still got. Let's see. We're at. Okay. No. I can knock these out real quick, and then we can head into the last 10 minutes of our show. All right. Let's see. We had minor league team Hall of Famer. You go, girl. I got this one.
You go ahead.
You go, girl. All right, where we highlight women in the world of sports. All right, we give them the respect that they deserve, because that seems to be the running theme this week in sports. Give us our damn respect, even though you were favored the entire time.
The petty. Whew.
Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, women in sports. All right, so. Let's see. I'm trying to find it in my freaking Google Doc here. I had her name. Oh yes, Kim. And I've been trying to. I'm sure was it Andrew can get us the pronunciation for this. Kim Ng. That's what I think it is. Kim Ng. I went on YouTube to find the pronunciation for this. And there's like 3 different versions of it. There's Ung and Ing and Ung. And my English nor my Spanish can help me on this one. By the way, Kim, this talk about a person that's risen up the ranks of Major League Baseball.
I think it's like Ning.
I think it's like we're not gonna butcher the Chinese language right now, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, because they might be our overlords in a few years. Anyways, let's give this woman her respect, all right? 'Cause she's moved up. All right, moved up the ranks of Major League Baseball. Went to the University of Chicago. She's currently the senior VP of baseball operations for Major League Baseball. She only answers to, I guess, two people: Joe Torre and that goon Rob Manfred. So she's almost up there, dude.
Terry LaRussa still around, or is he a special advisor somewhere?
I thought he wasn't he like in Arizona or something?
I think so. It's just I know he was doing some stuff before.
Or maybe I don't know, maybe he's advising the Cardinals again. I have no idea. I could see that. But anyways, so she played at softball for the University of Chicago, and she did some learning over there. Then became the assistant director of baseball operations for the Chicago White Sox in 1995 and 96. Then became the American League director of waivers and records. Then became the assistant GM of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
1999 through 2000, working under Brian Cashman. So she got herself a couple of rings. Then became the assistant GM for the Los Angeles Dodgers from 2001 through 2011, before 2012 when she took up this position at the moment. So sheesh, man, there she goes. And so she's from Indianapolis, and hey, man, she's almost there, dude. Could we see it? Megan Duggan? Is that Freddie's "You Go Girl"? I don't know what he means by that. Do you mean
that, or you pronounced it so badly that he thought it was somebody else?
Okay, no, he has a "You Go Girl." Let's
okay.
Let's take a look.
Let's do it.
All right, Megan Duggan. Plays for USA Hockey. There we go. Oh, she's my age. What have I done with my life?
You have a successful podcast sponsored by Fall Guys.
She just retired. Oh, okay. And she plays for the Boston Pride of the National Women's Hockey League. Pretty new league, actually. Made in 2015. They have 6 teams. They had some pretty cool team names. The Boston Pride, the Buffalo Buttes, the Connecticut Whale, the Metropolitan Riveters, the Minnesota Whitecaps, and the Toronto Six. You see where they got that name from? Uh-huh.
This just in, Le'Veon Bell's getting released.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right, dude. So you're no longer. We'll scorn you on your next team, or hug you, or fist bump you, whatever. Did we fist bump him? Or did we hug him? I think you gave him a hug.
I think it's the guy who came in with
you gave him a hug. Yeah, look, Freddie's got the huge what there to that news, the breaking news from Charles.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
All right.
Yeah, he's out. Twitter is fired, and not everybody likes it because hear this out. Adam Gase has now outlived the high free agent whale that you signed last year. My God, I swear to God, if he goes to the Patriots, I'm going to cry. Because could you imagine that running tandem? He doesn't even have to be fully healthy between him and Cam. It will be college football all over again.
I could see Bill doing the thing.
Yeah, I see the thing. You know the thing. That offense would be scary because remember, all he has to do is just average like 3. He's better than busted up Sony Michel. He's better than Damian Harris at the moment. Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, he won't be as much of a headache as Antonio Brown was. Yeah, I can see Bill doing the thing.
Yeah, because all Le'Veon wants is just an organization that respects him and a coach who actually knows how to coach and not disrespect African-American players. I said it. I told you that a long time ago about Adam Gase. But that's how I feel about him. Lions, I don't know if he's going Lions.
Yeah. All right. Here's the only respect we're going to give to a Los Angeles Lakers player. All right?
That?
Player remember, forget.
Okay.
We're
Lamar Odom, drop the mic. We're out.
we're Derrick Caracter. His last name is Caracter.
Oh no, you should have done the biggest bust in Lakers history, Robert Sacre.
Yeah, well, I went with this guy because he had a funny last name that I liked. Derrick Caracter. All right. He played in the NBA very briefly. He was drafted by the Lakers out of, he went to Louisville at one point, then he went to UTEP, so good old El Paso. Drafted second round in 2010, 58th overall. Played with the Lakers, and then I think he went to play in a bunch of other leagues. Played in the G League. Played with, I guess, in Puerto Rico, and I don't even know where the hell this is. Lithuania. What is this? Brazil. The Yulon Dinos. I like that. Dinosaur name. Taiwan. Where else did this guy? Yeah, this guy played everywhere, huh? Philippines. Went back to the G League. Israel. Slovakia. This is a globetrotter right here. Back to Israel, and he is last played in 2018 in Puerto Rico. And he won a FIBA Intercontinental Cup Championship in 2014, which, if you don't know what that is like the club championship for basketball.
Francisco, there's only one intercontinental championship that matters. Okay, that's in the WWE. So sorry.
Yeah, well, this is the FIBA version of it, so the NBA does not participate. They send their G League team instead. Whoever wins the G League championship goes to this tournament. But I can't imagine the winner of the NBA championship from this season, who I'm not going to mention right now, going to this. Anyways, that's our player remember or forget, Derrick Caracter.
Francisco, I'm going to give you a minute to just petty insult.
Sato Kaiba is the only Intercontinental champion I acknowledge.
Yeah, okay, I can respect that. We get Joey Wheeler though for life. You get 1 minute to insult the Los Angeles Lakers. All go, do it. Give me the vitriol.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I'm giving you 1 minute.
Let's see.
We've been avoiding the topic, so you know what? Let's take a couple positives that they've done and make it into our negatives.
COVID championship. Asterisk, bubble, wouldn't have been the same in front of actual human beings that weren't your friends and family.
No drafted talent.
Right. I mean,
just Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma, and then you had the two-headed monster. So the
Space
NBA
Jam
continues
2 is not
to
going to
be
be better than Space Jam 1.
Much like the criticism of urinating tree. It's just pretty much every team is effed up the A. Unless you have the two superstars on yours. So, but don't worry. The Heat have done their recruitment tour. They'll be back. Don't you worry about that. The guys in the Eastern Conference have seen what the culture can do. Even a certain player on the other team acknowledged that the culture helped him along his way. So we'll see. We will see, folks. Don't worry. All right, Charles. Speaking of Intercontinental Championships, let's head on over to the cage.
We got back. Welcome, everybody. Your weekly Truplex, The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer, wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a song. It is a dance. It is a ballet. It is poetry in motion. It is aggressive as hell sometimes. I got to tell you that. It is violent. It is bloody. Why do we mention that? Because October, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, WWE. It is about men and women chasing championships, friendships dissolving, friendships renewing. It is about sometimes beating the holy hell out of somebody. And right now we're getting to that stage where wrestling's been kind of bad, but wrestling's been kind of good. And wrestling might be great. Why? Because what's around the corner? After Hell in a Cell for WWE, Survivor Series, and then we get to WrestleMania season with the Royal Rumble. We get the G1 Climax with New Japan. AEW is doing some cool stuff. Neat, right? They have their 1-year show anniversary. A lot of things going on, so I'm trying to figure out how to kind of proceed with it. New Japan still doing the G1 Climax tournament. Updated standings at the moment. Tetsuya Naito I think he's ranked number 1 with 5 wins and 2 losses. So remember what the climax does. You go basically this entire tournament, yes, predetermined, but it's okay. The bumps are still real, especially New Japan. You can pay me to get slapped by Tomohiro Ishii or Minoru Suzuki, because that crap would hurt like a mother. But remember, you go through the tournament, you have the Block A and Block B. Champions from each side, or the winners of each ending of the tournament, will go against each other for a guaranteed title shot at Wrestle Kingdom, which is New Japan's equivalent of WrestleMania. Now they're just announcing it, Freddie, about Le'Veon Bell getting released. Le'Veon Bell, go to wrestling. You'll make more money. So right now, Tetsuya Naito standing with 5-2. Evil, the guy who took the titles originally from him and then lost to, and 5-2. Zack Sabre, 4-3. But Sonata over Block A. Sonata was like winless, man. He was like 0-3. He's part of the Los Ingobernables. Oh, and we picked off Josh Allen. Suck it. Just like the DX race. Suck it. So Sonata's now 4-3. So my expectation is either Sonata is going to beat Naito at the end of Block A to go on to go against Block B and lose against Block B champion.
That's two turnovers. Look at that.
Which will be Kota Ibushi, because I still think Bushi is still going to go heel in his Wrestle Kingdom match. To us.
I don't know if that was an underthrow. It was just, hold on, let me see.
It was just badly placed.
Yeah.
Looking into it. It was some pressure, but there was no way. If he wanted to go to the other guy, he would just gone a little bit higher for the height, but it went straight into Malcolm Butler's breadbasket, man. He didn't need to stick him to catch that ball. So that's my suspicion. It's going to be Sonata versus Ibushi. Sonata is going to lose, and then Kota's going to win the G1 Climax again for a second year in a row. This time, just go straight for the main title, because I think Naito's going to drop it to Sonata, which is how it should be. I don't like double champions. I don't feel like they need a double champion. So that's Block B. Block A right now is Kazuko Okada is at 6-2, and then Kota's at 6-2. So I like my predictions. I don't need Jay White to win it. I don't know what I want to do with Jay White. I think just Jay White's a little bit overrated. Great performer, not my cup of tea. I just don't like Bullet Club anymore. It's just not needed. It kind of also makes it seem like that they're going to have Bullet Club versus Suzuki Gun, and they're both kind of heel factions. So a Twitter post said it best. It's like Lawful Evil versus Chaotic Evil, and I'm kind of about that. What are we doing with Moxley? Because here's the thing, Jon Moxley, your AEW World Champion, is also your New Japan United States Champion, and Kenta has a guaranteed shot against him. So when are we going to set this up? Is AEW being kind of dicks about it and not having Moxley just compete so he can drop the belt to Kenta so he can focus full time? I'm just curious. Things I want to know. But so far, I haven't had the opportunity to see many of the matches, and what I'll make sure to do is just do a compilation of videos that you guys need to see what G1 really matters. Because if the Royal... How about this? You remember King of the Ring from back in those days? Or if not that, imagine it's like the Royal Rumble instead of over the top rope is all those guys have to go against each other and beat each other a couple of times. That's the excitement that comes into that. But usually you get some good matches. They're still a little bit too long, because with New Japan it's really like 35 to 50 minutes of matches, but it feels like a fight. It feels like a test of the spirit and the endurance, and you go from there. And this is the time too where you get new stories that can be created. So that's what we got going on in New Japan World. Ring of Honor, they're doing the Pure Tournament. Pure Tournament Championship is a very weird idea. It's to give you some synopsis of it, because I don't really talk that much about Ring of Honor, because right now it's still kind of in COVID hell. But for the Pure Championship Tournament, you get certain rules and limitations that are set in, like you can only grab the rope like 3 times if you're in submission. If not, there's no more of a submission. I'm not particularly crazy about it. It's kind of like how I'm not really crazy about NXT UK's British rules, because it's like small rounds. But that's all I'll say about Ring of Honor going from there. AEW, 2 things I'm going to comment on. Tomorrow's episode is the 1-year anniversary, and I believe it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer, and I just don't care. And Moxley's championship run just as Drew McIntyre's run has been a victim of COVID. Moxley's has really been a victim of COVID, because he had it, right? And then Archer got it, and then Brian Cage has it, so it really kind of falls out in between. They had a good moment of Moxley's disappearances and competition's disappearances by focusing on Brody Lee as the TNT Championship, but they ruined it, and we're going to talk about that in a second.
Touchdown Titans.
Look at that. I just feel so good. This was a statement game, and this is a statement game that you needed. Granted, we are fresh as hell because we've had like 2 weeks really, but I'll still take it regardless.
No.
And to John O. Smith, Mr. FIU. Um, so bringing that back to AEW, you have your 1 year anniversary tomorrow. They're gonna have a couple surprises in there. It's been a successful enough first year. You didn't get canceled, so that's good. You had some successful pay-per-views, and you brought in some establishment. Now in year two, expectations is keep it consistent. There was times where I watched you over NXT, but keep me invested. Develop your women's wrestling. That's what happens because right now you're running on Thunder Rosa, who's the NWA champion for that program, to help you out. Build Sheeta, build your other women's divisions, figure out what you want to do because that has been inconsistent. Rio won the women's championship first, didn't really compete in that body, and then Nyla Rose won it, and then loses to Sheeta, and Sheeta's just kind of have no storytelling whatsoever. Figure out what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen. Tag team division still stellar. This is like my year review of them. Loved your tag team. Love the story that you were doing with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Now it's time to give them a good fight. And I do not need them to meet in a finals for a future title shot to break the relationship. You could have done simpler storytelling because what happens is they lost the tag team belts. Page wants to keep it together. Omega wants to go separate, and he's kind of begging him. He's like, nah, we're cool. We're done. It could have been really simple. This is the storyline. They get the rematch against FTR. Page leaves him in the middle of the ring to just get destroyed by FTR, and that's it. It's the best heel turn. As opposed to creating another tournament, because there's too many tournaments. And I got sneezed, so this is where side B. All right, I'm back. I got it. I was able to do it in a couple seconds. Jesus Christ. And then your AEW World Championship stuff, Moxley's going to lose eventually, not to Lance Archer, but either back to MJF or to who I think is going to be is Kenny Omega when he wins the tournament, which is fine. It kind of brings it full circle. Let me explain to you my problem, what I had last week with them. So last week with Jericho's 30 years of wrestling. Congratulations, Chris. Love you. I'm drinking in, man, a little bit of the bubbly. You are somebody that's been through my generation's wrestling when I got into wrestling around late 1996, early 1997, when you were on the Cruisers with WCW, going against Dean Malenko as the man of 1,000 holds versus the man of 1,001 holds. And then now you're in AEW. You brought some prominence in there. AEW dropped the ball because last week they let him have the main event with Jake Hager against Luther and Serpentico. Hager and him are not really a good tag team, but I think, okay, maybe he should have had the main event, but Luther is, for a guy who's been in the business, seems like a nice guy, very green. Twitter, which is savage for the wrestling community, said Luther is the most green veteran I've ever seen because he was slow moving, not coming in, he didn't eat that Judas elbow. They did that as the main event over Brody Lee defending his TNT championship against Cody Rhodes in a dog collar match. It's a blood feud. It's escalated to this. It's a gimmick of gimmick matches, and apparently it was good. I watched a little bit of it, but then I did some other stuff for NXT. And you had that as like your mid TV match as opposed to being your pay-per-view, or not your pay-per-view, but your main event. And I think that loses it. That, and I'm not happy with Cody winning the title because now you've really just kind of depreciated Brody Lee. Because here's the thing you got to understand about booking, Francisco. To learn a goof. Booking is how you characterize winners, losers in a program, right? In a storyline.
Okay.
When Brody Lee challenged Cody for the TNT championship, he squashed Cody. He beat him within 3 minutes. Right? That's pretty impressive. So when Cody comes back for a dog collar match, not only does Brody lose...
Hold on. Get me back to terminology. What does the dog collar match mean?
They wore dog collars. It was a chain dog match, everything in between.
Oh, okay.
Like
All right,
old school NWA, style that comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
And not that NWA with Eazy and Ice Cube. It's NWA National Wrestling Alliance. Dusty Rhodes... Honky Tonk Man I think was Memphis. Instead it would be Abdullah the Butcher, Ric Flair, of course, a few other ones. That's how deep my knowledge is, because I even know the old school stuff. AWA, American Wrestling Alliance or Association. Is it? I'll get back into it. I'm old. I'm allowed to have some minutes, coming into it. So yeah, dog collar match, blood was shed. But here's the thing: 2 problems I had with it. Aside from Brody Lee winning or losing, and Cody Rhodes winning, is that you should have built up the 3-part feud to have the title match and dog collar match at the pay-per-view, man. You literally should have had it be where there's a rematch, the Dark Order comes in to help Brody cheat the win, and then you do the pay-per-view having the dog collar match, and then it looks good, right? And then it's acceptable. Instead, Brody holds it for a month and then he loses it. And I don't know if it's for a better storyline purpose. So now Cody's a 2-time TNT championship. He doesn't even need to be. Now he needs to be back into the main event game. And I understand that the whole purpose of him was like, hey, he lost to Jericho, so he said him to do it. But you're like part of the leaders. You're part of the president, man. You can do whatever the hell you want. Just go have with it, because now you've kind of like sucked out all the value to me of Brody Lee. As the guy's like 6'7". He's intimidating as hell, and now he looks like a punk because one, he challenged Jon Moxley too early, gets choked out and passes out, loses his AEW championship opportunity. Done, right? And now you have him hold the TNT championship, holds it for like a month, really only beat, Scorpio Sky and Orange Cassidy, and then Cody comes back in, doesn't even make it seem like that Brody killed him at all in the first match when he won the title, and now loses. And I'm like, now I don't even want a third match. Now I feel bad for Brody. He left WWE for more prominence, and now he gets booked as a jobber to a degree. Mind you, he is getting TV time, so that's great, but still, it's not a smart move. And then for WWE, they had the draft, right? They had the draft. So it makes it seem like, things
so
actually
the draft
matter.
is when they put them in the different promos or whatever, the different shows?
Different brands. So remember, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. This
Right.
time NXT was not part of it. So their way of the brand, whenever they do the draft, is truthfully to get more balance onto other sides. So if the tag team division this week, they might do this, they might do that. There's really no storyline play. And here's the problem, too. They'll draft guys to continue stories, but if that's the purpose, why even have it happen? And they did that. And there was some stuff I liked, and there was some stuff I hated. So a couple of the big noticeable, Seth Rollins goes from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown. Great. You can have new feuds. What's the problem with that? They drafted the Mysterios. They've been feuding together, man, for since June. And it has run its course completely. And not just that, but you also drafted his disciple, Murphy. So, damn, man, you can continue with this silly storyline? No one wants it. They sent AJ Styles to Raw. That's fine. I don't really think he was doing anything to begin with in SmackDown. He was only going to really put over Big E as Big E's push might happen. So he's on Raw. Maybe he'll feud with Drew to keep Drew hot as a main eventer. They sent The Fiend from SmackDown to Raw. They brought over Alexa Bliss. They brought over Nikki Cross, who Nikki's going to kind of feud with Alexa a little bit. The Fiend on Raw kind of works. They sent Braun Strowman over to Raw. They did a very weird thing, Francisco. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So there's the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. There's the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which is the New Day. Originally it was Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, but they lost to a returning Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. So Raw drafted SmackDown's Tag Team Champions. SmackDown drafted Raw's Tag Team Champions. So now you have champions on the alternating brands. And then they even made it weirder by they just said, oh, hey, we authorized for you to flip the titles. So now those who were the Raw champions are now the SmackDown champions and vice versa. So now you have teams getting now double billed as like the Street Profits are an NXT Triple Crown, or not NXT, but they're a Tag Team Triple Crown champions for having the NXT championships that they won at TakeOver a couple months back. So the Raw Tag Team championships that they didn't lose, and now they didn't beat anybody to be deemed the SmackDown champions.
So it's like, I don't know, let's say the Rays win the American League Championship, and then the Dodgers win the National League Championship, and then they just, baseball just says, you know what, they're moving over to the other league, so the Rays are now the National League champions for whatever reason.
It's weird. I don't like it.
Okay.
But they did that because really what they're breaking up is the New Day. So the New Day was a faction that consists of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E Langston, who's Big E now. Kofi had the singles run when he won the World Championship, which was fantastic last year. It was great. It's the reason why I hate Vince McMahon, because when he does shit that I hate, he does great things that I love with natural, organic booking. And giving Kofi the title was for 6 months, too. And yeah, he lost to Brock Lesnar, but that's neither here nor there. Because guys built like Brock Lesnar should beat Kofi Kingston. You know, Brock is a scary human being. We scorn Brock. We don't even scorn. We just run like hell. You know, in that sense. Brock looks like he eats babies. Probably does. But Big E's going to kind of get that push. Push meaning you're going to have some relevance, some storyline attire, some big championship titles and big paydays, but they're kind of doing it small. And I think he's going to go against the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. We're going to talk about that. I'm just wet with the thought of how great he is as the tribal chief. It's fantastic. But they're going to kind of do it. So they separate him out. So maybe the idea is that he doesn't have his boys to support him. So he's on his own. Is this a smart idea? I don't know. Is it an idea? It's an idea, right? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Can Big E create a character without the New Day that keeps people invested, and most importantly, keeps the audience of one that is Vince McMahon invested? Because Vince does have dudes pay his dues, and Vince also rewards the guys who pay their dues and stay in. That's how Dolph Ziggler gets title shots. That's how Natalya gets title shots. If you're a soldier and you go for Vince, he'll reward you. But he usually rewards you with either title shots for the main title, but never wins, and then, mid-card championship, sure. Rey Mysterio won the U.S. Championship the day after he lost to Brock Lesnar Survivor Series last year, because why? There's a loyalty base there. Natalya was able to get the Women's SmackDown Championship a couple years back, and also challenged for Becky Lynch 2 SummerSlams ago, I believe. So there's some loyalty in there. But Big E, are you going to reward him for being loyal and staying with the brand for so long, when a couple years back before the formation of the New Day, you were going to fire him or send him back to NXT? What were you going to do? I'm very curious. I need to know. Storylines. Hell in a Cell, buddy. A couple weeks away. You know what Hell in a Cell is? It's that big cage that's barbed in. Boy, right now there's announced 3 Hell in a Cell matches. This is what I'm emphasizing on because the card's not done. You have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I expect Randy to win because it's time. Drew has held the belt for 6 months, and it has been a fine reign. I'm not against it, but I don't think any of the guys that are on the Raw roster are going to beat Drew for that title, so you have to give it to Randy, because Drew, as a face losing the title, can feud against AJ, can feud against Braun Strowman. There's stuff there to work with. I don't know who you have Randy to feud with, except for maybe Matt Riddle as a startup in the cold months, but let Vince figure that out when they have to. So that's my thoughts on that portion. You have Bayley and Sasha Banks. They technically had a title match on Friday Night SmackDown, and then they were smart to have it end early by disqualification. So those two ladies, who have history in NXT, they had the Iron Women match where Bayley won. It was great. Takeover Brooklyn. They're just good. They have good chemistry. The storyline has been very good. Bayley as a heel is great, as she's been undefeated for like 400 plus days. SmackDown Championship, and it's going to go inside Hell in a Cell. Sasha was in last year's Hell in a Cell against Becky Lynch. It was phenomenal, and the biggest mistake that they had was not have Sasha take the belt off of Becky. But now they have that opportunity. Let's see what happens there, right? And of course, let me talk about the storyline that should have been a one-off, but there was so much potential and so much greatness that they extended it to 2 months. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. See, even I get the Usos confused. But Jey Uso has been killing it. The match, as you know from Clash of Champions, was one of my favorites for storyline purposes, because the wrestling itself was average for the storyline, where he's just like, acknowledge me as your tribal chief, and then his brother Jimmy comes out with the white towel, the sword. I love it. But they're continuing it, because in Roman's eyes, it's not a victory. In the tribal chief's eyes, it's not a waving the white flag. In the tribal chief's eyes, it's a sign of disrespect that you don't have the wherewithal and the common sense to just call me your tribal chief. So now I got to hurt you. And he told Jay last week, you want to wrestle me again with stipulations? There's going to be consequences for it. So Francisco, hear me out. The Hell in a Cell structure, right? It seems pretty dangerous. We know about Mick Foley constantly going through the damn Hell in a Cell structure to die. He's done a couple of times. We know about Shane McMahon going off the top of it against The Undertaker and crashing through the table and then falling to his death against Kevin Owens when Sami Zayn pulls him out. We know these things. But now, for the first time ever, and I love it. I love it because Jey Uso has competed in a Hell in a Cell tournament or championship match when he was defending the tag belts against the New Day with his brother, the Usos against them. And it was great. It tag team Hell in a Cell. Roman knows about several Hell in a Cell matches. I won't, give it to him. My favorite one was him and Rusev. Rusev had the chains and go on the Accolade with him. But they are, for the first time ever, going to do a I Quit match in a Hell in a Cell. And it sounds just as it sounds. Whoever says I quit loses.
So it's basically an endurance type of thing?
It's how much
No mas.
No, it's Roberto Duran, man. No mas. And Roman has just been so good because he feels like the Samoan Godfather. The way he talks, it's just great because he's like, Jay, I love you. You're my family, but there's going to be consequences. I'm like, oh, man. Tell him you're going to make him an offer you can't refuse. I'm ready. I'm so ready for the try because, I side note, why I relate to the Roman is I have wrestling nicknames for the people that work in my program, right? So, one of them, Ross is the boss, Ross. Aurora before she was the Man Medina. All these people. Derek is the one, the only, the original DC. I didn't know what I wanted to name myself, but I'm the tribal chief, Francisco. I'm the tribal chief, all right? And I need a tribal chief shirt. I need a shirt, Vince McMahon, that says acknowledge me as your tribal chief. And I will wear it to the gym. I'll buy 2 of them. I'll do it. I swear. But I'm loving it because this is a storyline that's so natural, so pure, and had potential to continue that they did. And I think it's what killed The Fiend versus Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. Because remember, that's how it was originally The Fiends. But sometimes you have to, that's why it's called card subject to change. You have to just go, man. And just like Fall Guys, it's just so good that you want to keep investing into it. So I'm excited. And we'll have more for that. But I think that's what I got for you right now.
Okay. All right, man. That's it for the show. I think we did good. All right. We didn't mention a certain thing that happened over the weekend. At least not. We didn't go into it. We didn't go much of it. All right. The damn dirty Astros are winning 1-0 right now. What the hell's up with that? Come on, Tampa.
Yeah. Things happen.
Dodgers actually scored runs today. They scored 3 right now, 7-3. So we'll see what happens there. And your beloved Titans, 28-10.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can cruise to a victory.
Yeah, you have to be really bad to kind of come up, but I'll take this because, put some respect on my name. Put some respect in the name, even though I put no respect on the Titans name all the time.
All right.
Give it to me.
That's it for us, folks. Andrew will most likely be with us next week, and we can finally talk about some college football. That is, of course, if there's not more massive outbreaks of the virus. Anyways, take care, everybody. I think we're done here. I'm going to probably play some Super Mario Bros. 35. I'm out.
Good night, everybody. I'm probably getting Wendy's because I'm hungry, and today's my cheat day.
Nice.